We might as well be out here talking live. Boom, boom, boom.
This is starting off very different than what I'm used to. Usually we go through this like little pregame setup. We say there's going to be a spiel, and you just said, "All right, push the button." I'm like,
that's it. That's how I roll on Tuesdays. You know, it's part of that whole. Hey, you are the agent premier. You know how we roll on no script. That's just kind of what we do, and people seem to like it. So that's what we're going to go with. Michael, we got 15 people. It looks like out there already. Matter of fact, I see some of your clients out there.
Triple now that you push the live button.
Yeah. Just so everybody knows, thank you everybody for making 2/22/22 Tuesday such an awesome day for me. Thank you everybody. I was here last night at 12 midnight. 1 second. So the very first second of Tuesday, I was here. Did 2 hours and 22 minutes last night. Came on this afternoon at 2:22 to give the afternoon people a chance to celebrate Tuesday with me. And now here we are tonight, rounding out the last 2 hours and 22 minutes of Tuesday. It's been a lot of fun, and we've got Stand 3 out on the river, getting all set up. I think we may get to see some big blue cats tonight.
So he's on the SS Porcupine?
SS Porcupine. We're going to get to see the SS Porcupine in all its glory. You think on YouTube that people can say whatever. You should see what happens in real life when boats are going by us. Like, are you kidding me? How do they have 14 rods out of that? They've got more rods than feet of boat. That's
I think the part that I find most fascinating about the SS Porcupine is that you do utilize a bank rod holder in the boat.
Yep.
And it shows your logo so nicely right there too on the screen. I mean, that's obviously by design, and you all need to really get a lot of good credit for that. But I don't understand what actually is it slid into.
That is, it's a regular John boat. So where the oar locks go into, that's what it's, because we don't have the oar. And I don't know if everybody's heard that story or not. We've had that boat for a while, and we don't have oars. The oars had broke and whatnot, so we went to go. This is way before YouTube, a few years back. We're on the James River. We get there and realize we don't have the trolling motor. We don't have whatever. What do we do have? We have coal shovels in the back of the truck. We're like, well, we're already here. So we're paddling with coal shovels. And you know what? Not a bad idea. They worked better than a paddle. They were shorter, had the handle up on top. You could get more grip on it. So just a little tip. You ever need a paddle? And they're cheaper. It's cheaper to buy a coal shovel than it is a paddle. So little tip there. And it turned out, Michael, one of the best days of fishing we ever had. Every cast we were catching the big hickory shad and American shad and white perch and every cast was a fish. And it was before YouTube, before any of that stuff. It was one of the best days we had. People, like I said, the looks on people. We didn't even have oh my goodness, a trailer with the boat and nothing. It was the John boat. So Stand 3 kind of carried it down there. We carried it down this little hill. People are bank fishing. Like, sorry, excuse us. There's no place else. We got to go. And there we are. And then when they see us pull out the shovels, you can see them looking at each other like, these guys are, what are they? And then we get out there and we're like, fish after fish. But hey, that's what it's all about. And what we're going to do, we got 20 awesome people, Mike. We're just going to start calling some people out, waiting to hear from Stand 3. He's got the information. He's got the link. So he'll be up here in a second.
So that means that we are 2 people away from having 22 people in the chat. I want to know who the 22nd person is to enter this chat.
That's right. When you see 22 come in, let us know.
That's right. If you think you're number 22, claim it.
There you go. There you go. That's a good idea. We got Brian B catfishing. He's saying he's second.
That's right.
That makes him the winner of 2/22/22 Tuesday. Uh-oh, Michael, we dropped two more. People are like dropping out to try to come back in. Is the 22nd?
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say they're going to drop out and come back in and try to be 22.
Oh my goodness.
I think about stuff all the time, not just
Mm-hmm.
about fishing, not just about the YouTube community and the fun that we try to have. And I've been thinking about two stands fishing. And I was wondering, do you happen to have like a logo t-shirt that does have 22 on the back, like the number 22, like a baseball jersey number, on the back? Or
Michael, that would have been, you think that would have been after the first 2 months of doing this that I would have came up with something like that, but
I don't know.
No. That would be that'd be an awesome, amazing thing.
Oh, we got 22 now. Who's the last person in the chat?
Who was it?
Yes, say hello.
It looked like it might have been D. Smithy, my wife. but Eric B's out there, Tina Ladybug, it could have been. She's like, she's enough. She's like, I'm done with the twos. I'm done with it.
Oh, Skull Rush is because I think Tina and Diane and Eric were talking before that. Oh, Michelle says it's me.
Oh, well, hey, we'll give it to her. I've had that world famous breakfast sandwich and I want to have that again. So if she says it was her, it was her.
I was thinking about this too. I'm not familiar with the world famous breakfast sandwich. Do you think that they would travel? And if so, do you think that I need to take like a skillet with me to warm them up at CatCon, or am I just overthinking? I mean, because I think about food all day long.
You may be overthinking it, but it's so good that even reheated like that, it would be great. It wouldn't be as great as that first. I mean, Michael, you're like me with thinking of the food. You open that up and, I'd managed restaurants. So part of managing restaurants, part of that is, presenting the food. And it's more than just the food. It's more than just, it's a visual, it's a memory, it's the smell, it's everything. It's presentation. Yep. And man, she puts it in, she wraps each one individually, makes the bread for it. And when you open it up, and you're out there fishing when you get it, and it comes down there to the dock, and you open it up, and you can see like the little cheese and the little from being a grilled sandwich, you get kind of like on the end of the wax paper, you kind of see it coming through, and man, you open it up, and that when your mom or grandma or whatever, you had those perfect grilled cheese sandwiches when you were young. That is just what you get, that grilled cheese smell, and you're automatically thinking of all the best experiences you've ever had with one. And it's just, man. And then you realize, look at that. There's no burnt spots. It's perfectly crisp from end to end. And it's just that perfect texture of toast. And she makes the bread to make the sandwich. So, I mean, right from there, it's going to be great. And man, and then you get that bite and you realize how perfect the eggs are and that special thick bacon and the cheese is it's one of those things. I'm doing the best I can to describe it, but unless you actually get that whole thing, man, it's something that everybody has to do. If she opened up a restaurant and said world's greatest sandwich and that's all she sold, she'd sell out of sandwiches every single day. Oh, let's see. Somebody is there. Let's see if he's ready.
If he's ready, shuffle him to the middle and put me on the other side, or
yeah. Well, we're gonna we'll do the boxing. Bugman saying, "Stop! You're killing me." Yeah,
okay, I'll admit to something here. I took a nap this afternoon. Really wasn't feeling well. I take some medicine every week, once a week, and it upsets my stomach. So tonight for dinner, I ate 5 penne noodles. And that was enough. I did. After lunch, I was like, oh, I just feel horrible. So I fell asleep before you ended the middle section
Mm-hmm.
of
Mm-hmm.
222, and I'm sitting there holding my phone, and I'm like, I don't feel good, Stan. I might fall asleep. And they left me alone. They knew I wasn't feeling good. So then I woke up and I'm like, meh, I'm not even hungry. But I love how you described that toasted bread.
Yeah. It's just.
That's really important to any sandwich or any
Mm-hmm.
burger. I mean, people out there, seriously, I
100%.
understand that convenience is necessary sometimes. But if you can toast that bun, do
It
it.
adds integrity to the whole sandwich.
Oh, it does. Oh, it
Yes.
cannot be understated. It cannot.
And there's Mike's Fishing Home. Mike's
Oh, look.
he does some chefing out there.
Oh, look. Michelle says, Stan and Michael, I'm sending goodies to CatCon.
Woo! How did I miss that? I
Ooh.
was so caught up in the nostalgia of that sandwich, I just kind of lost it there for a little bit.
I think that overtakes news of the Golly Whopper rod is the most cool thing I've heard in recent days here. Hey, Michelle, is everything sugar-free? Because, you know, I'm type 2. No? Okay. I'll get over it. Oh, wait. Tom's traveling with Art, Stan. We ain't going to get nothing.
Oh, man.
It's gone.
Art, I tell you what, you'll have some angry people at CatCon that you're going to have to deal with. And
Art's a big dude, man. He's got to carb up, too.
Just remember this. Michael and I are both old school wrestling fans. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I can't do what you guys did the other night, though. Oh my gosh! Wow.
Oh, with Daryl the other night.
Yeah. And I think I talked to someone, and they're like, "I was so mad I unsubbed him." I was like, "Oh."
That's what Bugman. I think it was Bugman. He was like, "I'm ready to throw down with him." He's like, "That man better not show up at CatCon talking like that."
Oh my gosh!
And it was
that's so funny.
It was all of those. It was one of those. I had recently, found out about Daryl with the wrestling. He was on the show, and I didn't know about that. And I'm a big old school wrestling fan, and even the little independent ones, I think they're awesome with the way they try to do the promos and the whole. It's just something. I think our generation back then, that's what you did. You enjoyed. That was like that Saturday night thing, and.
Well, I know that you're a little bit older than I am, but I got to tell you, growing up watching wrestling in the 80s, I mean, it all exploded right there with WrestleMania and Hulkamania and everything. It all exploded when me and my brother were kids. And,
I was in the teens when. Yeah, even in the teen. I mean, that was just. And then you had, back then you had like Cyndi Lauper and all these other Lou Albano, and in the beginning of all this stuff, and they were like these, and then Mr. T, Pity the Fool, and he's coming in there with with Hulk Hogan and Roddy Piper and the Ultimate War, all these kind of way back then, and then it just kind of progressed from there. But that was, then it was a little bit more about, the wrestling and the story, and the story got played out in the ring, and then it would spill out to the out of the ring. But I still love wrestling. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy it.
And you didn't mention, but in the 80s, honestly, the wrestling and the storylines and everything in NWA wait, no, that's not right. What was it? WCW,
Nitro.
All those other ones were so good too, and
it
was so different, but you got Ric Flair and Sting. And the Road Warriors. Oh.
Sting was the biggest one when he came to WWE or WWF. I still, for the longest time, called them WWE because that's what I grew up with them as. But Hacksaw Jim Duggan, the Bushwhackers. But when Sting came over finally that was like, like worlds are changing. I can't believe this, because he was always so diehard WCW's diehard, anti WWE. And then when he finally did come over, it was like, and now he's AEW still. So
Yeah.
hey, God bless him.
He got hurt so quick in the WWE. It was so sad.
Yeah.
I wanted Sting versus The Undertaker so bad. Oh,
I
wanted it so bad.
I need the rubber bands, right, Aaron?
Yep.
Legion of Doom. See, not everybody, but the majority of Catfish, and we like the same type of things: outdoors, wrestling, all kinds of stuff. The Hardy Boys, Uncle Lou chiming in there. Tina Ladybug saying Sting was her favorite. See, we're all in that same boat. We all enjoyed all that stuff. And
I'll admit something else that I've never told anybody. I have 4 12-foot long carp rods, and whenever I fish with them, I call them the 4 horsemen. So these rods have names. These names have names. There's Ric Flair, the Nature Boy, and then there's Tully Blanchard, and then Ole and Arn Anderson. Yep, Ole and Arn Anderson.
They were some bad dudes, though. They were seriously like,
oh yeah.
We all know the whole script, but seriously, they were pretty bad dudes.
I don't name all of my fishing rods. A few of them that are black, I'll name them Vader or Maul or anything like that, Star Wars type stuff. And one of the first fishing rods I ever bought for myself, I named it the Gray Ghost. So I just feel like I have to get that white Ghost Mad Catz rod, because if it says Ghost, it's probably just a sign that I want one. I don't need one. I mean, I don't need anything but some of that dark water bait and I don't know, maybe like 4 other rods that I don't really need. But
old school Iron Sheik. I actually met the Iron Sheik. My friend's dad.
Still alive?
Yeah.
How's he still alive?
Go through. Yep. They my friend's dad did security for the Orange County Fairgrounds, where they had the big wrestling matches back then. And him and I were kind of as much backstage as we could be. And Iron Sheik was trying to figure out where to go. We kind of took him to and he was a bad guy, but you're still like geeked out that it's the Iron Sheik. And, back then everybody, I was a huge Sergeant Slaughter fan. And another one I got to meet was Andre the Giant. I was by the time I was 12, I was like 6 foot, 200 pounds. I was a big kid. And at 6 foot, I shook Andre's finger. I got good sized hands, and I was already 6 foot at 12, and I shook his finger. That's how big he was. That was just.
I would not pull on Andre the Giant's finger. So.
Oh, good Lord, no! I shook it very gently. It was not a. Yeah, no. That could have been some serious wind damage.
Yep, you might not have ever recovered from that. It would have stunted your growth.
Rey Mysterio, no real loved Rey Mysterio. I always liked Jake the Snake. Jake the Snake Roberts was one of my favorite wrestlers back then. And Damien, he just kind of had his thing.
Do you watch those shows where they would talk about him, like Dark Side of the Ring and this and that? And other, they had some other like documentaries and stuff. Oh man, Jake's story is a good one.
Yeah. And there's a bunch of them, and and then DDP, who really all of a sudden he was 30 something by the time he even started, and they said he never even should have started wrestling. And then I had no idea who he was, and all of a sudden, bam, he's like title matches out of nowhere, and then he changed his whole life around, and the DDP yoga. And hey, welcome to the wrestling show tonight.
Look at how helpful that is, though, for all those, athletes, former athletes, whatever you want to call them, and that's oh yeah, I could have told you without even looking. I would have said that Uncle Lou was a Rowdy Piper fan. Superfly Jimmy Snuka, how could we forget him? Yeah. I'm impressed that Bex likes Rey Mysterio. I tell you what, that entry song with the 619 plays in my head at the warehouse. I don't know how many times a day. It's hilarious. But if we
I
ship
bet.
anything there, I just can't get it out of my head.
Isn't it crazy how music and the intros are as much like you can remember back to all of them? You know, Stone Cold, you hear that glass break, and
Yep,
you know,
we
The
break
Rock.
some glass every now and then at work, and I'm just like looking to see where Stone Cold's coming in.
And then even when you had Jim Ross, they did the the marching band song, and when he came out, and it's just you remember these things. It's crazy.
Yeah, that was the Oklahoma Sooners, right?
Yeah. Big Oklahoma.
You know, too funny.
Junkyard Dog. There you go. That's another one from way back.
I think these people were under the impression we had a fishing show coming up tonight.
Yeah, well, we've been trying
47 people logged in to watch a fishing show. And we've
been
talking about wrestling, but you know, there's some
parallels. It's there in here. Hey, look, it's growing though, Michael. We're up to 51, 53 people, and numbers just keep growing, and we're talking about wrestling.
Yeah, we're just waiting for stand 3 to get set up and to get good signal so we can watch some action here.
He is in a spot where some pretty decent and you've seen some pretty decent blues caught there before. Even recently you've seen some there. Not too far away from where Nina caught her 46-pound PB. And Freddie caught his 20. I think I still like Freddie's better. It was a 22-pound PB for Freddie, but you still got to bust his bananas about that. Monday Harris is saying, "What, fishing? Yuck." Appreciate you being out there, Monday Harris. He's been with us for a long, long time. Honky Tonk Man with the guitar. I'm the honky tonk man. I'm cool. I'm bad. And I'm bad. Mouth of the South, and let's see.
Ooh, Aaron, right there. The comment. Chunky could pass for George the Animal Steel.
Oh. He just needs the green tongue and the.
How crazy was that guy too? He'd just walk around, start eating the ring.
Oh, with the stuffing coming out of his mouth and
eat all that.
And then I can't believe they let him do that. What was that? Like modified armbar thing that he did, and he put him up in the air. I saw multiple people that he wrestled. He dislocated their shoulders with that. Like,
oh yeah.
Oof.
Yep. You got to think nowadays, though, that probably never happened because they would shave his back instantly, so he would never be able to sell it like he did back then.
Yeah, and there were so many, and then even back further, the Moondogs and the Wild Samoans, and
yeah,
remember the Moondogs? They came out with like that turkey leg, whatever. They were just nuts. And then you had the Bushwhackers that were kind of like the next generation of the Moondogs.
Oh, that was so good. It was so good.
Ernie, the Hog Snatcher out there. How's it going? Sunfish Assassin. Since I see Sunfish Assassin right there, before we go any further, big happy birthday memoriam to his mom. She would have been 70 today. I got a big connection with that, with the 2/22/22, but the 2/22, her birthday. Been talking with Sunfish Assassin about both his parents, and he had some really cool, awesome parents, and so big shout out to that. Happy birthday, memoriam to your mom, Janice, and Sunfish Assassin, big supporter out there of all the catfish people, and so we appreciate you being out there. And of course, we have to say it's 2/22. It's Mama Haz's birthday today. One of fellow stablemate here in the Murillo Entertainment, Murillo Entertainment Agency, and
I like to call it Championship Catfishing Incorporated, but
Ooh.
that has not been signed off on or endorsed by
Well,
any of you all.
well, I'll second it.
So
I'll
it's pretty
second
got a nice ring to it.
it.
Yesterday actually was my dad's birthday, and I always used to give him guff about it. In the beginning, I couldn't remember when his birthday was because let's face it, when you're a little kid, you focus on yourself and
Oh,
what
it's only
you
your.
want. You know, it's not about other people so much until you stumble upon it. So when I got older, I always joke with him. I'd be like, "Yeah, I know your birthday's somewhere between the 20th and the 22nd in February." And he would be like, "It is exactly in between the 20th and the 22nd." So that was always my joke with him. But yep, and he did turn 70. So it's not been a good year for him. He's been fighting off cancer, but he's hanging in there and doing really well, and he hit 70. So he's got to finish off this treatments and then try to strengthen himself up so he can go fishing.
There you go. We hope we get to see that, Michael. That would be awesome.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. I told him too. I was like, "Hey, I need bait too. You can go catch bluegill. Catch anything. Let's face it. Isn't any fishing better than no fishing?"
Uh,
So
I would concur. You've seen us, I mean, look at Chunky. How many times did he go out there and skunk for that while there? And he still went out there and had a good time. We all enjoyed it. Nobody,
yeah,
and
absolutely.
I think that I do the same thing, and all of us do that go live. You feel that pressure, like even though everybody's out there having a good time, like right now, Stand 3 is not able to come up. We've had constant 50 since we started, and well, we started at 20, trying to get to the 22, but then it just kind of went from there, and it's been Stand 3 having the issues out there. We're just talking, and everybody's having a good time. But when you're out there, it's like, okay, I gotta represent my river. I gotta represent my live. I can't let the people down. Everybody's here to see me catch a fish, and they're not gonna. And we love that part, but it's the show. It's the being out there, the chance that something could happen, and just sitting here talking with people. Like who knew how many wrestling fans were out there, and everybody. How many of us put up their favorite out there, and it's just an awesome.
I pitched another idea to the Mexicat, and it had a lot to do with wrestling. So if anybody out there wants to try to force the Mexicat's hand, try to encourage him, let's
Viva la Mexicat!
let's get in the chat. Who wants to see the Mexicat work on that project a little bit and see if maybe it can turn into a video?
Oh, without a doubt, I'll second that. Yeah, let's see if we want to see the Mexicat out there.
See,
let's see some sort of icon.
He's out there. Look, that's right.
There he is, El Mexicat. All right.
Oh, yeah.
I still remember back the day I was during Palmetto's. What was it? Was it the Whisker Bowl? I don't remember which event it was, but it was one of them. And I was going around to the other chats as El Mexitrol.
Yep, it was the Whisker Bowl.
We were having a blast.
We did not finish last.
And you gave away, people that came and watched were happy. Y'all gave away a lot of prizes, a lot of great entertainment, and everybody left happy. We got Ryan Sayre out there, LG Bass, Viva El Mexicat. There we go.
I'll let you do Ryan Sayre's one. I don't think I can say hi that fast.
That'd be like Elon. Hi.
We actually did. We do. I should say we do have some mass because the Mexicat has a job where he's not really supposed to be showing anybody who he is wear or whatever. So what are the luchador masks? I have
Yeah.
2 of them over at my desk.
Oh.
One of them is the Mexican flag colored inspired Rey Mysterio mask, and the other one is a real nice black and gold one. And I got to tell you, they are pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
They are.
I wonder how many people, because a lot of times people, you put a mask on and all of a sudden people get that sense of it really increases their courage a little bit. Like, I've got the mask on, nobody really knows who it is. Like, I can say other thing, I don't have to worry about that. I just kind of act and say how I want to anyhow. But I wonder if that was kind of some of I know there's all the other stories about the mask and etc. But that would be
You know what? I think I'm going to get up and walk over there and grab it. It's only like 10 foot away. Because Bexy's a Rey Mysterio fan.
Got to do it. Do
this?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let me go get this thing. Hold on.
Jacob says he has met El Torito. Oh, let's see. I missed Ernie. I got to get my tablet going here. Oh, are we talking about Ernie, the Hog Snatchers? New. Out?
Well, I'm telling you, it's a lot more comfortable than you might think.
It's him.
Your chin real nicely. Look at that.
If I didn't know any better, I think that was Rey Mysterio himself.
Yeah, other than the fact that I probably weigh 3 times as much as Ray weighs. Uh-oh, it fell on the floor. The dog will get it. We can't have that.
David Smith out there, and I apologize. Stand 3 is trying to get out there and get set up. I saw out there before.
For myself
oh.
Look at these coming up here. I think this is who is it? Can't remember, but he's wrestling right now. I gotta fix these. That just looks bad.
Isn't it Sin Cara that had something like that?
That's who it is. You're right, Sin Cara. Yeah,
Sin Cara.
So check that out, though. Is that sweet or what? Anyway, these things are really nice, padded on the inside. I mean, and these are the cheapy ones, but
definitely would take away
on Amazon for about $20.
Yeah.
Did we get any response from Bex?
I didn't see it. I didn't see one. Oh, there it is. This is the best. We did.
Bex is also part of Championship Fishing Incorporated. Championship Catfishing Incorporated.
There we go. That's awesome. Can't wait to meet. Bex is one of the ones I can't wait to meet. That's what's great about this. People can say what they want about the catfish family and the community. It really does. We accept everybody. We all find our similarities, regardless of what our differences are. And that's what I think is awesome about it. We all, and you're going to have arguments and disagreements with your family and stuff like that, but they're your family. And so big shout out to everybody out there. I can't wait to meet everybody at CatCon. Going to be a blast.
Yeah, I said it in the chat the other night that hashtag Brian said it best. Anybody wants to go back and watch those lives? They were last night, right? 2 lives last night. Woo! Nobody said it better than Brian. And what I always say for myself is, I didn't realize, 40 years have gone by. My dad said I've been fishing since I was 3. 42 years have gone by. I didn't really pay attention to the fact that most of my fishing was done with family. And then my brother starts having kids. He's like, dude, I can't fish right now. I got to watch these little kids, And then the kids grow up he starts getting back into it. My sister had kids, then she starts getting back into it. Now I have kids, and I'm like, I can't stop. This is all I want to do. And Lauren's a dynamo, and Leia wants to fish too, so it's all great. But then I started realizing it's like I don't have like other friends that are fishing friends really. So, here we are, and this is how we found each other, and this is where our friendships will begin and continue and go in all these great directions, and I love it.
And Michael, as you know, you are much more than just an agent. You are part of the family. You're S4. Been there since day when Chunky fired you, and we put that lifetime. We just made you
same day.
Yeah, I was like, on over.
Hired.
I think it was within minutes. It was you were just welcomed right into the Two Stands family. I had the lifetime title of S4.
Yep.
And speaking of S's, I'm trying to get in touch with S3.
Yeah.
He's he's been doing the videos lately. Y'all saw for a long time. We go out, we go fishing together. And everybody thinks that all I do is sit in the chair. But I control a lot more than just sitting in the chair. I take care of all that stuff that nobody sees. And then once he's starting to do it, I think he's realizing, damn, he did a lot more than I thought. It's because it's not as easy. Anybody that's gone out there and does the lives, and especially if you're going to different spots and keeping service, we all saw that during the first Iron Cat. Really, everybody that was mobile, really, the service issues, even if they were really close, even if they weren't going very far, you saw the different how it would come in and out. And I think almost the majority of people that got took out were the mobile ones. Stan 3 and Dan were just crushing it, tripled up on 50s. Dan caught some big ones, and the internet just got them. There's one little stretch. They were doing a float trip down the James in kayaks. And there's one little stretch there kind of between Richmond and
Rich what?
And what's that?
Rich what?
Yeah. Richmond. And there's
I'm
kind
not
of one
even
little
from there. I shouldn't even say it, but I can't stop. It's so cool.
Yeah. And there's one little stretch there where the service is kind of and that's what got I see. Let's see. Fingers crossed. Come on. Why am I still seeing the wheel of death?
Bummer.
Okay. Sometimes you just got to will things into being. So if I get it set up where he's on the big screen right there, sometimes that just happens. And we've got Deadpool out there. Missy Kennedy. Missy, last I heard, Missy was a huge supporter out here in all the chats, and she's a great catfishing person herself. Her family has had a bunch of health issues. Last I heard, everybody through prayer.
Whoa.
That that didn't work out. Oh my God, that's just as bad.
I have never done this screen type stuff, whatever. When we do our podcast, Kevin has given me the ability and the power, so that way I can put myself into the show and I can highlight comments in the chat and move things around. But for the most part, I'm like, dude, you're on the left. I'm on the right. Come on, we can't, let's not change too much stuff here. But
let's see. Mike's fishing home. That's what Mike is saying. That's what his phone has been doing. It won't let him be on anybody else's panel because he was going to come up the other night. We got Lisa Elliott out there. Lisa, I hope things are going awesome. Recently moved out here. You see the name now is Lisa Elliott, so congratulations on that. I had the pleasure of meeting Aaron a couple of times, and we joke around with the we joke around with the Catfish instigators, but really just a awesome. He's just a great person. A lot of fun. He brought donuts when I met him the first, so those that know me, you bring food and I'm your lifelong friend. It's that first trip I went down to Tom's there. Aaron brought the donuts. Michelle made the fresh cinnamon buns that first morning, and then she made some homemade stuffed shells for dinner, and 1 ton showed up after that later on that night, and oh my gosh, it was just nonstop. It was like food, 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 and it was all just like this amazing. It's like everything was so great. Like not one thing was so much better than the rest. It was all just amazing, and I was like, man. So if you ever go to the dock, you have to be prepared for that. Like it's gonna be, there will be food involved with it. Back in the Nintendo days. Come on now, everybody raise your hand that has actually done this with the old video game systems. You put it back in. I know everybody out there should be raising their hand, because if you're over 30, you've done that before. Well, Michael, Stand 3 is still going to try to keep coming in here till we get him here. Oops, that's not it.
So there's something coming up in a couple days. It's kind of been looming in my mind. Somebody said that there's going to be a big place where everybody can get together and check out all sorts of catfish gear and chit chat, maybe even swap or sell some items that they're not super fond of or whatever.
Yeah, I heard somebody up here on this panel, not me, is pretty much involved with that.
Well, a little bit, yeah. I'm a foot soldier.
Butter knives. So how did that go? How did that go during the St. Louis one? Was it y'all did the inaugural one there, correct?
Yeah, and it was Kansas City.
Kansas City. Missouri. What did I say? St. Louis.
Yeah, which is the other big city in Missouri, and I say Missouri because I'm from Iowa. I don't say Missouri.
Mike, I got to cut you off for a second. Because in honor of Bex and in honor of Sunfish Assassin, boom, 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 222 with the Sunfish Assassin. And you know what? When somebody does a super chat, you got to read what it says, even if you may not want to. Sunfish Assassin with the 222 saying, catfishing is overrated. Not when you're catching monster catfish on your medium action Uncle Lou rods right here. Because even if it's not a catfish, when you're out catfishing, you could catch 222-pound sturgeon with your Uncle Lou rods.
You know, if he wants to talk about other species,
there you go.
Dan the man is ready. I caught a little wiper on a medium heavy action spinning Uncle Lou's rod. Now this wiper, if you've never caught them before, or if you don't have them, I'm sorry. But this wiper was probably only maybe about 10 inches long. And I guarantee you that he probably didn't weigh a pound. And he buckled that Uncle Lou rod on initial contact. It was so impressive. I mean, at first I was hoping that maybe it would be like a 6 or 10-pound channel cat with a real bad attitude. No, it was one of our little striped buddies, and it was fantastic.
Now the wipers, that is the hybrid striped bass, right?
Yeah.
Pound
for pound, an amazing fighter, and this little sucker this little sucker gave Uncle Lou's rod a go now. Uncle Lou won. Uncle Lou won, and I don't know if everybody knows or not, but my daughter Lauren is a huge fan of Uncle Lou. And when we fish with the Uncle Lou rods, we'll cast them out, set them in the rod holder, and then she will kiss the logo. And she says, "Thank you, Uncle Lou." And then we sit down and watch the lines. So
that is awesome. Mike's Fishing Home saying, "Happy 2/22." Thank you, my friend. Mike's Fishing Home does a great job in the so y'all check out Mike's Fishing Home. He does Monday. Gosh darn it, Mike's put it out there for me. It was Friday Focus, I believe, and Monday he has the 2 days that he's doing, and then Tuesday through Thursday he's on or off, depending if somebody asks him to go live or whatnot. And pretty much there is a catfishing live on pretty much from midnight to midnight. Why won't this stay? I'm doing a horrible job with the comments because my tablet keeps shutting off for some reason. Well, not shutting off, but where it just goes to the black screen. And
yeah,
there we go. Maybe I got it now. And when you try to do this on your phone, you get to see like one or two comments at a time. And
yep.
Oh, there you go. Bex has got a good idea. Restart your phone. I've had to do that a few times. Restart the phone and then everything. Matter of fact, I had to do that just today, right before we came live. Backstage with Michael, just got back there, and the phone rings, and it was Epic Catfish. He's excited about CatCon. So how do you not answer Epic's phone call? And then, of course, you're on StreamYard, and phone calls messed that all up. So had to restart everything. Monday focus and Friday free for all on Mike's. Thank you, Michelle. If somebody could drop Mike's link, he does a fun show out there. David Smith is saying, "Tell Stan 3 to run to Best Buy real quick. Time is running out." And I did drop the link since we're waiting on Stan 3, hoping that that's going to happen. Like I said, I totally apologize. He's out there trying it.
I'm gonna have to politely disagree with you there, Sunfish Assassin. I think that a 9-pound largemouth is a big, great PB. I think a 1.5-pound bluegill is a monster. I've never caught a bowfin. They're not here. 3-pound bullhead. Been there, done that several times, and I love it.
Yeah,
those are fun fights, and you have a bigger channel cat PB than I do. So by a pound and a couple ounces.
And I'll tell you one thing, Sunfish Assassin. When I first started talking with Epic Tim Scott, and I remember him from back with the Pro Cat days and stuff, where he was already a name back then, and then here he is like calling me and we're talking and stuff, and I'm like. Well, I'm just now starting this monster catfish, searching for these monster catfish and stuff. I'm just a multi-species kind of person. And, we always just fished for the blah, 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 all these other fish up in New York. And he's like, well, don't ever say that again. That's, in order to be a good catfisherman, you've got to know what every other fish out there is doing. And it's basically true. If you are, in tune to all the other fish, because, for catfishermen at one point or another, all of those are going to be bait. So, but if you know what they're doing, you can kind of relate to what catfish are going to do. And D. Smithy just said the 9-pound largemouth. We caught one. My friend and I caught one ice fishing on our lake. That was right around the 9-pound mark. Jeez. I literally had to take the coat off take the coat off and reach down, laying on the ice, down through the hole to my shoulder to grab and wedge them up because we were fishing for perch and crappie and stuff. So I only had the 6 or 7 inch hole. It wasn't the giant, you know. And you pull a 9-pound largemouth, you got to kind of work them right through there. But yeah, we did that on a ultralight pole, fishing through the ice. That was a lot of fun. D. Smithy had caught a New York State record crappie that never got to be a New York State record because my bright idea was to keep it alive and put it in this wire fish basket that we had in the side of the boat. And we still, you know, since she'd caught one, I wanted to catch a big one too. And we kept fishing. And lo and behold, on the way back in, we look at the fish basket and no more big crappie. So yeah, Diane wasn't too happy with me on that one. Then there was that huge carp. You know, I've told you we've caught carp before. Never really with, you know, like the hair rigs and the boils and the pack bait and all that stuff, but bottom fishing with night crawlers and stuff. And man, she hooked into this carp. And we were fishing, you know, regular 12-pound test. It was up in New York, and you're catching bullheads and small channels, and that's what kind of, you know, the catfish and you know, you might get big whatever fishing with night crawlers, but man, she hooked into that carp and fought it. And we're on a mud bank, and I'm trying to get down there with the net, and it was probably about the same size net we got now, pretty decent. You know, if you don't have the big striper and the big, like the Hydra Web monster net, so picture the big nets that aren't quite the Hydra Web and you know, those nets. And I couldn't get it around the head of this carp. Couldn't use it. And she fought that thing and popped. So never got to. So that carp, I can't even fathom a guess on what it was, but it wouldn't fit in a net like that. It was just huge. So yeah, she wasn't happy about that one either. Oh, and then there was a time she had on the monster bass that I tried to land for her, and I missed that, and that one didn't get land. Man, I better stop bringing these things up. I'm gonna be sleeping down here in the studio tonight.
Well, you know, there's some very large nets available at CatCon. We'll take a look.
That is the next. If there is one thing, you know, we've got the Uncle Lou rods. We got the Uncle Lou rods now. We've got the you know, Stan 3 says it all the time. He's got his Murillo. What does he call it? The Murillo arsenal that we bring out there with the spinning reels. So he's got those out there, and but it's you know, we're down to the net. Oh my gosh! Boom, 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 boom! Crappie Day fish on. Happy 2/22 of 22. And it is 22 degrees right now. Keep being you. Love your person. Positivity. It's contagious, brother. Well, Crappie Day, huge support out there. Thank you. You have no idea what that means to me. Before, I always was that kind of positive person. I mean, it could have been, we need to go through that mountain. I've been, come on, guys, we'll get through that mountain. We can do it. And kind of over time, it kind of just, LG Bass says, I'm a terrible Joey. Maybe I just didn't want my wife to catch bigger fish than me, all right? You ever think of that? I mean, I should never give that away. Stand 3. Come on. But Crappie Day fish on, thank you. That's one thing. And Mike will tell you that with Haz and Brian and Dan and all of us, that we try to keep it a positive thing. That's what, you know, that's what people come to YouTube for, to get away. We deal with enough negative crap in the outside world. You know, we come here for some fun, for some positivity, friendship, seeing some fish caught. That sunfish assassin, man, brother. You the boom, 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 boom. Thank you very much, my friend. We definitely appreciate you being out there. Thank you. With the 2/22, it is the sentiment that's what counts. And I just, just having however many people come in here and listen to us talk and watch us out there fishing and share it out and hit the thumbs up and, you know, get 100 thumbs up a show. And it's like, man, it's just unbelievable. So thank you. Again, happy birthday. Y'all check out Sunfish Assassin he's got some awesome memorial videos for his mom out there on his Facebook page. And I played them. He sent them and I played them. And, you know, everybody knows me with the emotion on the sleeve kind of person, and the tears start. I'm like, man, that's just special stuff. So shout out to you, Sunfish Assassin. We appreciate you. Whew. Let's see. Yeah. Terrible Joey, man. I thought we were friends, LG. I thought we were friends.
Real time's in here.
There he is, the professional. For those that, how did you do today, John? I had just saw that you had went live, or were supposed to go live earlier today.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom. And, you know, now that she is part of our group, hopefully I'm allowed the copyrighted to use the Bex. Boom, 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 boom. Because I think I'm up to about $2,222 worth of royalties on using that.
That's why we needed to secure Bexy and the No Real Loss team. Because otherwise we weren't going to be able to afford all the royalty payments you were going to have to send out, Stan.
Unless we...
Stan 3 said he even anchored up in 22.2 feet of water. Dang this phone. Dag blasted phone.
Dag gummo, booga bear, as somebody out there says.
Yeah, something about a gummy bear. He says, "Dadgum, I want a bag of gummy bears."
Oh man, who doesn't? We are trying. That would have been something to be anchored up in the 22 feet of. It's amazing how many times the 22 is come. Stan 3 went a couple weeks ago to get gas and sodas and stuff and paid for it all inside. Came to $22.22. We seen when we pulled up to the gas station for it other times, you see how much gas $22. It's just the twos just keep coming up everywhere. And I really do believe that you can, you know, you talk things into existence. And although last year, I don't know if all the twos was such a great thing for me, because it seemed like every tournament I was in, two came up way too many times. But hey, I said it then, I'll say it now. I'll take second every day of the week, because that means I'm out there fishing. I'm out there having fun. Restart phone, turn off airplane mode. We still got 41 awesome people watching. Thank you very much. Like I said, I do.
S3 said that he's restarted his phone 22 times. Oh,
thank you, Whisker Dreams out there. Yeah, hey.
I live in movies. When I was younger, I learned that I was allergic to bee stings. So everybody's like, come on, we're going to go outside in the yard and play. I'm like, I'm not going out there and getting stung. Not again. So, you know, that's one of the reasons why I got this big. It had nothing to do with my love of French fries, pizza, and anything basically battered, dipped, or fried. It had nothing to do with the fact that I love sitting on a couch or sitting in a chair, you know, and doing nothing. I got stung by bees twice, and I inflated. But so yeah, we you know, I'd watch a lot of movies and everything. Well, and one of the movies, Cool Runnings, about the Jamaican bobsled
team. Yep.
Yeah. John Candy said something in there like, if you're not enough without it, you're never going to be enough with it. So You gotta understand that you're never gonna be the one who always takes first place, or even if you're fishing with your family, you're never gonna be the one who always catches the first fish, always catches the biggest fish. There's ups and downs, there's tides, this way, that way. So, did Stan freeze up?
Uh,
Look at him. He froze, y'all. Robo voice. Okay. Welcome to the next segment of 222. And I'm not good at this because I haven't been saying it for as long as Stan has. So he'll be back in a moment. He's probably just restarting his own stuff. He mentioned that his tablet kept going out on him too, powering down. That's just all odd. So anyway, getting back to the whole fishing part of this deal, let me pay attention here better to the chat too. Super excited for CatCon, but also, kind of sad because I got little kids. So, it's always sad to go away from home for any amount of time. But very excited, super excited. I was saying earlier on Lee Evans' live stream this morning that I wish I would have kept like a spreadsheet or a Word document of everybody that said that they were going to come, because then we could actually count to see how many people we really expected to see. I mean, we were joking, how do you not, oh, wait, what did somebody say there? I saw that comment. You can't slip it by me. David Smith, do not read a book, Murillo. Yeah, I'll put you all to sleep. Yeah. I don't have that book sitting right here by me, but I can grab it. I purchased a book for Lauren because we need to read. She is a kindergartner, so she is involved in the Book It program. We need to read. We need to get our minutes, not only because we signed a contract with the teacher and the principal stating that we would be good readers and we would get our reading in every single month, but also, too, because the Book It program is still working with Pizza Hut. Now, that Book It program started, I believe, in 1984, as did most super cool things in this world. You want to go back to a really good year? Take yourself back to 84. So I thought that if I had to read to Lauren, I too would want interesting things to read. And this is Incredible Fish Stories. And they're very, very short. Each one of them is literally like 3 pages. So even I can get through it. Now, I had not found any that were so fascinating that I was going to make them into videos, but don't you worry, because sooner or later I will find some fishing stuff. And then I thought I could set myself up here and just, say what I'm reading, hopefully not get, smashed down, because I don't have cool fishing stories like my buddy Stan right here.
Oh, you mean like
didn't know he
like this fishing story right here about the 222?
And I'm pointing the wrong way again. Dang it! This whole thing is so backwards. I love that picture.
And you know what, Michael? If I would have been out there and caught that fish by myself, it would have been. You're excited. It's still whatever. But to get to share that with 2 of my favorite people there, and Dan and Stan, and just be. And by the way, here is Freddie is going to have some catfish pictures available.
Wow.
But if you can talk to Freddie at CatCon about how much for getting one of these. I mean, that is the picture, burnt into wood. I just think that's such a cool, nostalgic look. It's just.
You think Freddie could work off of somebody else's picture, but then put my face on their body? Because I don't catch big fish like
that. You may have just opened up a whole new market. Would you too like to catch a 222-pound sturgeon? Well, now you can say you did.
You too can be a professional angler, just like Mr. Parker.
For those that didn't see, was it a week or two ago? He was out there catfishing, and he caught two of the biggest. He should, just catfish is one thing, but he should become a perch angler because I would believe he's a professional perch angler. Those are two of the biggest white perch. I mean, they were just monstrous.
Well, the only reason why I can't believe that he's a professional angler is because that means that someone has paid him to fish. That's how I interpret it. Now, that being said, nobody's ever paid me to fish. So I am not a professional angler, so I don't know. But, yeah, those white perch, they were really nice. And I loved how everybody kept trying to get him to chop them up for bait. He's like, no, they're going in the frying pan.
That's dinner right there. And white perch are
Crisco Disco.
That's right. As Snatcher says it. That's white perch is a delicious fish.
We have yellow perch here. I've never encountered a white perch, so I don't think that they're here, but the yellow ones are delicious.
Yellow perch. People will whatever. Hands down, yellow perch, my favorite fish to eat. It is just I love crappie, walleye, and even pickerel. Pickerel is an amazing fish. But white perch.
Look, Palmetto's still awake. He was getting ready for his traveling too.
Palmetto's saying,
that's what
the real deal fishing podcast.
I'm all set up here. I'll text Stan because I
lo and behold,
time nap. I'm ready. I got a cup of coffee. The dog's snoring over there. You can't hear him, so we're good.
Let's see here. Yes, we were, and as live goes, anything, sometimes the best laid plans just don't happen. Stand 3 is out on the water trying to get, and now it's raining, but there is the link. Tony Harrison asked me if I've ever watched Room 222. I don't believe so.
I haven't either.
I don't believe so. I'm terrible with like the name of it. Like if somebody starts talking about it, and then I'm like, oh yeah, you mean, and then so and so and this, and then I'm like, yeah, I did see that. But
are you putting the link up there to try to get Stan 3 in through the chat, hoping that it'll be different, or are you opening this up?
I'm putting the link out there, opening this up. I mean, we've been up here having so much fun.
An hour's already gone by.
1 hour and 2 minutes. If anybody wants to jump up, Palmetto, Brian, whoever out there you want to come up, there's the link.
Wow.
He was saying
25 times.
Palmetto was saying this is the Real Deal podcast version 222.
The only way it can be the real deal is if Kevin logs in.
You never know.
This is something different. In fact, I don't even know that this has ever happened before. Has it, Stan?
I don't know. I don't
think that I've ever made it onto one of your lives.
No, this is the first. Definitely the first.
I think whenever you sent me a link, I'm sitting there waiting, and then it's just like a call before the show even started.
And we've got someone else backstage. It's not Stan 3 or Kevin, but there we go. There's a man that will be meeting at CatCon coming up in a couple days.
Things just got epic,
fellas.
How's it going? You're looking a bit excited, Epic.
No, I'm way excited. CatCon is like one of those things that I kind of live for because I get to do what I really love doing. I really love talking about, and I get to meet the greatest people on the planet.
That is true. I can't wait.
There is no better people than somebody that loves catfishing. It doesn't matter what level. It doesn't matter if they're into monsters or medium or into eaters. It absolutely doesn't matter, because we all have that great thing in common, and it's all in the heart. It's all in the heart.
And one of the first things I was telling everybody before, Tim, that when we first started talking, I was like, I remember you from back in the Procast days, and I was like, here I am thinking, I'm just the little guy out here in the middle of nowhere, and I said, I just started this catfish thing, but we've caught, we've fished for all these other species, and you're like, well, don't ever say that again, because you need to know those other species. That's all part of it. And since day one, you've been like just a friend. Like, come on, we're on that catfish journey together now, and it's just been an amazing.
Come on with me. We're gonna start out at whatever level. We're gonna catch bait. So that puts you.
There you go.
When you're out there catching bait, and you got a little wax worm, and you got a little tiny little bobber, and you're doing the thing, and maybe you got to catch 50 bait fish like I do to do a day's trip. But just remember one thing: catfishing, we're not all up here. We're like the grassroots of things. We have to be good at catching tiny fish, medium fish, and big fish, and that. If we want to go there, really, think of what's better. We're not coming out on Sunday morning, and I'm not putting anybody down here. But we're not coming out on Sunday morning at 8 o'clock and finishing by 11 and staying all clean and wearing our thing, and then no. We're in it for the long haul. We're in it because we love it. We're in it because it's a great thing. We love to catch bait. We love to put the bait out there, and we love to think and dream about the monsters we can catch. Whether we catch them or not is irrelevant.
And the thing that I love is that, and we've talked about this before, Tim, is that the term monster is, it's different for everybody.
Exactly.
And if your big fish in your area is, a 10-pound fish, and you catch a 9-pounder, that's like going to the James or one of these big lakes or the Tennessee and catching a 90-pound fish. That's
exactly.
Whatever
look at
it is.
Mr. Murillo there. Look at that. He is a monster hunter at heart. Now, is it necessarily that he has monster waters? Maybe yes, maybe no. But we can all, and it doesn't cost to dream. And the dreaming part is the greatest thing in the world, because it's always what can happen, not necessarily what did happen or what does happen. It's always what can happen. And with catfishing, there's always been somebody that goes out there with little time and little effort, or they've tried it as hard as they can, and they've done it for 5 years, and finally they caught the monster of their dreams. And we all have to go like this. All of us. We're like, yes. Yes.
Hey, so let me tell you guys a little story. I'm sitting in Kansas City, and all of a sudden, this guy walks into the restaurant, and he's like, hey, and he points at me because he knows me, and I'm just like, Epic's pointing at me, and I'm like, and it's like, the table's not ready yet. They said it'd be about 20 minutes. Awesome. And he's like, Sean, get in here. And the whole time I'm just like, that's epic. Now, fast forward one day.
And I was like, that's Michael Murillo.
Yeah. we get through a day of the Catfish Conference, and then we're going to dinner again. And so we're walking down the streets of Kansas City, trying to find a spot that's got enough space for 20 of us. We end up at a burger joint called the Burger Kitchen. Good stuff. Sitting there, I got Tim to my left, I got Fish and Chick over and to the left of me, and Sean in front of me. And Chick had asked me something earlier. She's like, "Hey, you think if I ask Epic to help me, kind of figure out my spot, help me to figure out, where I should put my boat and where the flatheads might be, you think he'd tell me?" I was like, "Absolutely. Don't miss your chance." I
Yeah.
said, I said, "I had dinner with him last night. This dude is as cool as a cucumber." I was like, "And he wants to help you." I was like, "Don't miss your chance."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Okay." So then we're sitting there at dinner. We order our meals, and I'm like, "Hey, Chick, did you talk to him about the spot?" And she's like, "Yeah." She's like, and I have a picture here that I took so that way I can show him. And next thing you know, Tim reaches over and he's like, "Let me see your silverware." And he took our silverware, he took our napkins, he made the river right there on the middle of the table. And he's using the knife as a pointer, and he's got the forks there showing where
forgot that.
the big flathead would be, this and that, everything, just designing the whole thing, re-referencing and making dots on her photo so that way she knows how to work this area. He's telling her how to throw the baits so they'll roll in closer to the big flatheads that should be there. And Sean is just sitting there, just trying to help handle Tim. And I'm sitting there. They didn't know this. I'm sitting there texting my sister. I'm like, "Trish, I'm eating dinner with Epic again." And she's like, "Shut the front door." And I'm like, "He took our silverware. He's got a whole display on the table." She's like, "Take a photo or it didn't happen." And I'm like, I can't let him know that I'm totally like fanboying, right here next to him. I'm trying to stay cool. And then the coolest thing happens, right? We get our meals and Tim looks over, he's like, "Mikey, help me eat these fries."
You know what the coolest thing of that story was? That
y'all needed new
Murillo-
silverware when the food came.
Nope. It was that Michael Murillo understood the fact that I was making pinpoints based on a satellite image of how how to put the baits out so that the current would sweep them over and hit that right point. That's exciting to me. That's awesome.
And when you start putting little things like that together, it's like this past Sunday we went to the spot, we caught some fish, and we just felt we were getting more bites on the one side, and we kind of just weren't, we were too far down and too far in. We moved up, I mean, maybe 100 feet, moved out into the channel a little bit more, and bam, that's when the 40, we hooked into that monster 40 something. It's just those little.
Dan, I'm gonna have to stop you because you got my heart going. Because now here it is. Here the whole thing is. So Stan starts talking like that. He says, "Okay, so we were just a little bit too far out, and then we pulled in, and then we went down, and then all of a sudden we're in the right zone for big fish." That is what makes my heart go, because now I see people not just throwing, and there's nothing wrong with that, but they're not just throwing off the bank. They're understanding what they need to do, because they go, "Oh, this isn't quite right. And now I need to move down. Now I need to move over. Now I need to spread my baits out. And I need to do this." And all of a sudden, here comes the big fish. That's one of the greatest stories ever told. That's awesome. And so Michael Murillo just got to. Oh my gosh, you guys are yeah. I'm fanboying out right now. I am seriously fanboying out on everybody on YouTube that is learning the cool stuff, the secrets, the Rubik's Cube thing. And you know what? Sometimes you just want to go fishing, but if you really desire to go after those big fish and you get that Rubik's Cube thing going, and you learn the language, and you decipher, and you create your own language sometimes, and you go, "Oh, I see it. I see it. I need to go down there in that current that's sweeping across the thing and going down." And it all looks flat to most people, But once you get to that period where that you can see that current sweeping in and around, and you know when the top of that current just looks like it's flat, but yet you can feel it. You know it's going down, and this current's coming back up, and it's pulling across. And yeah, when you get to that level, then you're ready for the donkey waters.
Yep.
And I'm beside myself.
What's up,
And
Yep.
big
What's up, guys?
Yep.
How's
How
it
you
going?
doing? How you doing?
I'm riding out this weather down here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We got
Thunder-
7 degrees and icy conditions here today in central Iowa. What do you got, buddy?
68 degrees and tornadoes.
Well,
Ooh. And what part, just so everybody out there knows, what part of the country are you coming to us from, Skip?
North Alabama, probably 30 miles south of the Tennessee state line.
There you go. Some big fish waters down there. Some big fish waters down there.
So
Wheeler, Wilson.
Stan, Big Skip was one of my first subscribers on TikTok. And I've appreciated him ever since because he always comments, he always likes. Great guy.
I always try to do that with everybody, but I've been following Tim for. Well, wait a second. I've been following Tim for a while. I've learned a lot watching his videos and everything like that. And when he migrated over to TikTok, it was like, oh, this is going to be good.
Oh, yeah.
He has not disappointed. I promise you that.
Yes, I have got to admit, I need to get better at that. I need to get better at leaving the comments because I watch so much stuff. And even in the chat, there's a bunch of things that I'm watching now. And I don't even put anything in chat because I don't want to be rude. I'm like, okay, if I go into chat, I know I'm going to want to say hello to everybody and start talking. That's going to be 20 minutes in there.
Right.
So, I watch and I listen and way much more stuff than what I leave comments on. But
don't
even
forget one thing, you can always comment with a thumbs up.
There you go.
Just go in, hit the thumbs, just
Yeah.
put an emoticon up there, and it counts. It counts on the algorithm, and that's a great thing, because some of my most viewed things, of course, are controversial because people didn't understand it. When I got the rod ripped off the boat, I had 100 people. I had 150 people telling me I didn't know how to set a drag. I don't know what I'm doing. Obviously, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh boy. But it ended up being 350,000 views in like 8 hours. I mean, it broke the internet. I couldn't even keep up with the hearts and the comments. It just like froze on my thing. I put it on YouTube and it gets like 12 views. So, it is what it is.
Stan 3 doing the TikTok too. It's a whole nother.
Yes.
I mean, every genre's got its own thing. Like, I do the videos. I tried to do my first video
Right.
where I was actually going out to do the video, and I was talking like I'm doing it live, and Dan's like, that's not going to work. The intro was supposed to be 20 seconds, not 22 minutes, Stan. You've got to bring that.
You know what? You got to have a good watch. You got to go, okay. And this is how I do it. I say, okay, I'm going to plan. Oh, jeez. I have to plan the music for what I'm doing because I'm a music guy. And if you watch Epic Catfish stuff, there's music involved. So the one thing I do like about TikTok is that it lets us use on TikTok like copyrighted music, ZZ Top and this and that and the other.
Right.
So I have to count it down, and then when I'm editing, I have to like condense it to where on the high notes it'll like end, and then on the end it'll end, and you don't have to do all that stuff. And so it's a little different.
Yeah, and if you go to the shorts, like YouTube Shorts is similar. They're trying to, kind of compete with TikTok there. That's a whole other thing where it's just each one you've got to have your own special skills with, and it's not easy to do all of them.
if you think your video is awesome, it might get 392 views, or it might get 395,000 views. I can't figure it out, but I'm done trying to get exasperated by it. I'm just gonna put it out because I like it. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the way you got to. I mean, you got to do what you like doing,
Yep.
and there are people out there that'll like it too. I'm learning that.
Well,
Yeah.
and I like to hear stories and I like to tell them. So I don't normally like to put out something that is just like short and just like, here's the fish that I caught, or, reel a fish or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And you don't even show the fish. I like to set the stage, tell what I'm thinking, see what's going on. I like to set the stage, show it, and then move on from there. And I am kind of liking that short version of that.
Captain's log.
And you know what? Sometimes
22,
people don't like
22.
it. Yes, exactly.
It was one of those nights.
And give it to us. We need it.
And honestly, I mean, really, I go back to that. I go back to the thing of, is it really the fishing, or is it really the way fishing and your adventure makes you feel in the beginning, and then after you're done? I think for me, it is. It's not just fishing. I get really hankering for going on a monster hunt, and it becomes important to me. So I have to work hard to make sure I get everything done, and then I have to prepare for it, and then we have to, put everything together. And I got to call Sean and say, Sean, okay, we're going to leave by like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning. Sean gets here, and then we jump in the truck, and we have the boat hooked up, and we go down there. And maybe the first day is terrible. Maybe we can't even buy a bite. We might mark fish the size of refrigerators, but we can't get them to bite. And then we persevere, and we go to the hotel room, and then by the end of the day, maybe we might catch a 70 or an 80 or whatever. And then it's like we won the Super Bowl. And so it's so exhilarating to me to be able to tell the story in a captain's log. It's the Mississippi has been flooded for 2 months, and we barely get, we finally caught some donkey baits, and we went to the thing, and here's the crazy water. And then, here's the big giant takedown, and Sean had a horrible time with it because it was an 11-foot rod, and we barely got the fish in the boat. And here's what happened: it wanted to rip our arms off, and blah blah blah. And that to me is the epic thing. Now,
I don't know if you remember talking with me about that. You were like, I don't know about people are gonna. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah,
we love that captain's log. Yeah. I mean, that's gonna be. And sure enough, everybody's like, they expect that. And it's to the point now where it's not even captain's log, it's epic log.
Okay.
Blah, blah, blah.
Epic log, that's fine.
We know that. And when you do that epic, we know, we're like, oh yeah, some crap's about to happen here.
It's probably to happen. Now,
did you film that walking down the street in Kansas City?
Yeah.
Did you film that? When we were walking down the street, didn't you do an epic log when we were walking down the street in Kansas City?
I didn't film it. I do epic vlogs all the time. But and you know what? I'm fixing to. I actually got something to take the 12,776 catfish photos off my phone, so I can actually film something. Because there's like a little thing you can plug in. I've got so many catfish. That's all I have. I have either furniture or catfish, and it's just like full. So I can't even like record for 30 seconds and it says, iPhone is full, you're done. So now I'm going to be able to actually record some stuff when we go to CatCon. So yeah, I'm going to record a bunch and probably make a whole bunch of stuff.
But speaking of that,
yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Tim.
No, I was just going to say some more heartfelt stuff about how I feel that catfishing is, and maybe a lot of people don't, but it's so close to my heart. I used to get done with work, and I used to have to work like 55, 60 hours a week, on salary, of course.
Yeah.
So figure that out. So I used to literally like get out of work and run to my truck, and I would open it, and I wouldn't even like step into it. I would like jump into it, slam the door, have the thing turned on because I've got baits waiting for me at home. So I got baits that I like got ready. And I would just like Dukes of Hazzard jump into my truck, and it would be in drive like this. And I don't do that anymore because I'm old, but I think I could. But
Although, Tim, we saw you do that epic jump into the boat in a video not too long
the
ago.
rest of
So
jumping into the boat, and we didn't film much because normally my phone's full, and we're gonna film a little bit more of that. So anyway, I would like jump into the truck, back it up to the boat, conk like that. Hurry up and reel it down because I had everything ready. And I would like drive out of my parents' driveway or my driveway by that time. And I just like peel out. And I would be so excited to go. And I still am. And I hope everybody that's out there can feel that kind of excitement, because I was so looking forward to it, and it's so sometimes disappointing. Sometimes it was awesome. I mean, sometimes it was the greatest thing ever, you know. And I have old photos of those days, but I don't have a bunch of video of it. I wish I did. I wish I had video of the crazy days.
you know,
And
and
that's why I tell Stan. That's why I tell your son, film everything.
well, go ahead.
He is a catfish savage, and he's out there. He needs to film everything, even if he doesn't put it on YouTube, even if he just gets to watch it.
Yeah.
You know, even if he gets his grandchildren to watch it, film it, because I mean, you just don't get those days back.
Yeah. And I don't know if you've noticed, but there's been at least a video or two every single week since then.
Yes, I have. Here, I'll toast the coffee to you.
There you go. And the Mountain Dew.
Yep.
But yeah, and you know, he's out there now, and it's got the GoPro out there with him, and always ready to do that stuff now. So that's been, I mean, he caught so many 50s and 60s last year. Even his 76 that he caught in December, barely a picture of it because it wasn't, nothing was recorded, nothing was whatever. But since then, it's been,
You know,
definitely, he's ready for it. And
so Stan, that's like my kids. I tell them, I said, run your own YouTube channel. They've built their own boats. They've built their own trailers. They've never filmed any of it. I said, you just got to go 20 miles down the road, catch a bunch of catfish, blah, 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 start your own thing. I said, you're going to get a good following. You know what? They look at me and go, that's the younger kids. They're just like, you know, whatever. So Big Skip just disappeared. I was just getting ready to ask him a question. There you are, Big Skip.
I'm here.
Big Skip. I think if I'm not mistaken, you fished in Tennessee, correct?
Yes, Wilson and
Excellent.
Wheeler Lake mostly.
I follow you, and I see that you're fishing with Skip Jack Herring. I know that
Yes.
Special Agent S4 does not fish the Tennessee River. He is. Are you in Iowa?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Central Iowa.
So you're in Central Iowa. So you're mainly in Flathead / Channel Cat area. Nothing wrong with that. I think it's great. And this is my question for you. Have you hooked up with River Certified on those interior rivers yet? Well, I know you got his shirt. I'm just wondering if you fished with River Certified on those interior stuff and caught big flatheads.
We haven't caught anything monstrous yet, but yeah, we went several times last year.
Nice.
We're set up to go again monthly, every month
Sweet.
this season too.
for those that don't know,
watch it.
Lauren's favorite angler is river certified, and
Oh, yeah.
who can say no to Laura? So if she got in touch with Spencer and said, you know what, you're taking me to these rivers, and we're okay, yes, man, we're going, then you're not saying no to Lauren, that's for sure.
Yep, pretty exciting. I really, really am trying to think through and focus and try to set myself up to really chase the bigger channel cats, because I think I might know where some of them should be.
Nice.
So, but in the past I wasn't prepared for it. So the last year and change has really taught me quite a bit. And needless to say, I feel like I'm ready for it now, and I won't get outmatched like I had been in the past.
And the big thing that Michael just said right there is one of the biggest things I've learned is what he just said was, I think I know, I've learned where they will be.
Yeah.
If you're not fishing where they're at, guess what? You're not going to catch any.
So when Mr. Murillo was saying that stuff, I'm thinking Obi-Wan Kenobi, and actually realizing that there is I'm not saying it's a big Zen thing, but it is one of those things. It's just one of those things where you learn that it's not necessarily this or this or this. It's basically an overview. And it's listening to the fish. It is listening to what you need to do. And I'm not saying it's the force, but it kind of is. It's kind of like, you just kind of got to go, okay, I've done this in the past, and I'm going to do this in the future. And I think I'm getting closer to where I got to be. And I think Big Skip would agree with that, because he's on the Tennessee. And if you're going to like specifically go to get in the boat and go target one thing, you're probably going to be wrong. If you listen to, if you learn to listen to the fish and get the overview and just sort of work towards it, you're going to be on to bigger and better things, generally speaking, as long as you pay attention.
And
Am I not right?
here's the biggest thing, like what Epic is talking about. Before, I would look at this as the river and say, okay, I'm going to go fish here.
Yeah.
But now, okay, there's a channel bend here, and the main channel comes over, and there's this ledge there, and there's these other things that look good. So now, instead of having to fish this whole area, I know that it's this spot right here where this wing dam comes out, and there's some current change there, and the main channel comes right along. So now I'm fishing here instead of here, and that's the biggest thing. And you just like he said, it's not one thing. It's you start looking at navionics, you start picking up and whether you're from the bank or the boat, you can find those spots. We had one night, Epic, where we on the Friday night, I think we were live till like 5 a.m, going over like navionics for bank spots, looking for where the main channel came in close to a bank that you had availability for public access. And Haz was in there with us, and we were trying to pinpoint spots like that you could do from the bank. So I mean, it's all of that, and then you just start to, even in newer waters, you can start to pick out just by those type of things.
Yes.
And you can automatically knock out 90% of the water, which you may end up getting a fish in there, but most of the time that is not the high probability of that fish being there. It's right there. And when you start doing that,
the thing about it is, you are not going to catch big fish where they do not live.
Yeah.
If you can maximize your time by putting baits, any baits, in the areas where big fish live or inhabit, you're going to increase your odds 1,000-fold. Because just like I've always said, it doesn't matter what bait you have. Bait is not the thing. It's location first, bait second.
Stan 3 is asking, Do you have certain factor that predicts how you will fish? Do you have a certain factor that predicts how you will fish? He's noticing that wind is a big thing that he watches.
It is. Stan 3. Wind, the wider your body of water and the more the wind affects it, the more you have to pay attention to it. I happen to like neck down areas on a big river. Like you might have, like if anybody pays attention to where I fish, and I don't show a lot of the areas that I fish on YouTube. I tend to stay in a couple areas because I don't really want to burn a whole lot of my other spots. I don't generally film in other areas, but like we focus on Alton and down, and we focus on certain areas. But generally speaking, if you go above the dams that we fish, they're giant 1.5 2-mile lake type pools, and then they all focus this huge current below it. Now, I'm not saying that I'm trying to keep any sort of secrets. It's just I know certain pools that I can have a good signal, and we can go and have a good time and do a live. But yes, absolutely, that wind, current, and depth plays a big part. Now, the less wide open it is, the less the wind plays a part. If you have a big, expansive piece of water that's generally shallow with a narrow depth, the wind is going to play a bigger part. So I try to focus on areas that, because honestly, I don't have a lot of time to fish, and anybody that follows my channel knows that. I only have certain times I can fish, so I try to eliminate as many of the event type things to ensure the success. So I'm going to say I'm going to go a certain time of year, and I'm going to try to not deal with big, wide open areas, even though I can catch fish and I have in the past. It's going to take a bigger investment in time in a 2-mile wide stretch of the Mississippi than it is a 1/2 mile wide stretch of the Mississippi. It just is what it is. Now, on the James, we all know that the wind can be a major factor. We all know that on the Tennessee, it can be a major factor, and probably almost where anybody fishes. So I'm going to try to eliminate that by not really going during those periods where the wind's going to be coming from upriver. And honestly, I don't care 3 directions. I don't care about 3 directions, but I do not like against the current. When it's against the current, slows the current, slows the bite. And that's been a quantifiable equation.
Well,
30
and
years.
Bex just said it right there. That's, there's anomalies with everything and exponents, but when you break it down to the basic formulas that you've talked about for the past year with us here on YouTube, Beck said it right there. Once she started to understand that current and depth was part of the structure of a river, her fishing got better. Same thing with me, same thing with everybody. Current, depth, structure.
Yep.
And then, there's all the other anomalies after that, but there's so many spots now that we do not even go to because we know the current is not right at that particular time. Now, when we get some rain and we get water levels up, that spot is on fire, because it already had the right depth and it already had the right structure. It just didn't have the current. And when that current is there, man, they're on fire. We can go there and get fish after fish, but the rest of the time, don't even search in that area. And we can tell just by looking at the river now, where before we would have said, well, I can usually catch them here. What is it?
And you know why, Stan? Because one of the things about the area that you fish is that it is a prolific blue cat population type river, like the Potomac or anything else. But once you try to eliminate just just catching fish to catching big fish, that's when you have to separate that. And
Yeah.
you know, and some rivers aren't like that. Some lakes aren't like that. But when you have a heavy population per acre of water or gallon of water, however you want to put it, yeah, you got to start thinking in those terms.
Awesome. But yeah, that's simple. If you think of that and learn what current the blue cat's like, and you know, Tim, you were saying it. You were saying it a while ago that you don't need to know the numbers. You can just
Look
see
at
it.
Yeah. You
And
look at it. I can wheel down in the river and go, yep, current ain't right. Let's move to the pool above or the pool below. Yeah.
and that's the point we're getting to now. It's like, yep,
Yes.
it's just you can look at it and nope, not gonna.
Oh, we can push through it and we can probably catch some fish, but it's not going to be fantastic like I want it. I want it to be as fantastic as it can be every single time. And I look at it and go, nope, this ain't going to get it. You know, whether there's flatheads, whether there's channel cats, whether there's blues. And, you know, if I've got a situation 30 miles above or 30 miles below, I'll actually take that chance. Now, sometimes the topography of the river isn't as good above or below, but I'll still take that chance. If that water's depressed, I know I pretty much know what it's going to be capable of. And so I'll take a lesser pool with a better option and risk that and like lose a half an hour to drive above or drive below. You know, and it's actually paid off. Now that is hard to quantify that to people that don't live on a river stretch. Like if they're fishing lakes, like maybe Mr. Murillo. Now I think Big Skip lives on a situation like that, where he's on the Tennessee and he sees a depressed water situation where he fishes normally, and he may be better off skipping down 25, 30 miles or skipping up to 25, 30 miles.
Yeah, because where I'm at, we have both types of situation. Upriver from Decatur, you have the Tennessee River. Once it passes under the train bridge at Decatur, it opens out into Wheeler Lake.
Yeah.
And you still get, if you know where the channel breaks and stuff are, you can still get good current on the big end on the lake. Me personally, I like fishing upriver of Decatur in the narrower section. It's around 65 Bridge is a good example. You know, it's eighth, maybe a quarter of a mile wide right there.
It's narrower. It's got more consistent current no matter what, because it's still going, no matter what they're running at the dam, it still has to flow through those narrows. And
right.
Yeah, when you look at the whole topography of stuff, I do. I have to look at what's going on. Yeah, and I'm sure you do.
Because you talk about the funnel down situation. Well,
the neck downs. Yep.
Neck downs. We're just the opposite. We have a neck up.
Yep.
Because our river runs down and then goes wide. Okay. And it stays wide till right as it gets to the dam.
Yep. And that's all about being river savvy. That's you know, the savviness of experience lets you know that you go, oh, I should be doing pattern A, but I did pattern B yesterday. And so pattern A is going to pay off, and it does. And if it does time and time again, you can pretty much write that in stone.
Right.
Isn't that right, Mr. Murillo?
I would concur. I'm not gonna argue. I'm not gonna argue with our captain.
No, you don't have to argue with me. Yeah. All I'm saying is, and remember, everybody, and ask Stan this. Do not disappear, Stan.
I'm here.
Biggest question.
You're being called out.
Fish lakes, because lakes are tough. There's no doubt about it, because there isn't that current moniker. out of that equation, current plus cover plus depth equals big fish. You just took the biggest equation out. You just took current out. So now you got cover and you got depth for time of year. And so everybody's kind of lost on lakes, which I concur. It is tough. I fished a lot of lakes. And sometimes to catch a giant fish, I got to fish 4 days instead of 1. I will find a big fish on a lake. There's no doubt about it. Some of the biggest flatheads and blues I've ever caught, but it took me 4 or 5 days on a new lake to actually pinpoint that down and to successfully hit a giant. Now, if I only have 2 days, ask me, do you want to go to the Tennessee River? Do you want to go to the Altamaha River? Do I want to go to the Mississippi? Do I want to go to Lake? And when you say lake, I'm like, no, I don't. Not with 2 days. Now, I'll probably catch a bigger. I may catch a bigger fish on a lake, but I need a succession of days to narrow that down because I'm missing 33% of that equation. I'm down to 2.
Well, and
So
now, Tim, because
I've got to visit so much more area and so much more land and so much more whatever. Now, have I caught flatheads near 90 pounds? Have I caught blues near 100 in lakes? Yes, I have. But usually it takes me about double the time.
and because you have less factors, once you do pinpoint that,
yes,
then it stays there longer. Like rivers can change within.
It's more predictable, but surprising as it may seem, on a varied lake situation where blues especially have lots of different habitat that they can move and feed, it's a fly-by-night thing. That whole pattern may only last 3, 4, 5 days. And ask anybody that fishes lake. Ask Ryan Bortz. Ask Tim. Tim, what's his name, that fishes on Kerr? Ask any of those guys.
Tim King.
That's why so many people have went to drifting and dragging, because that stuff, it can move. And you have to have a super big population of big fish to be consistently on them day after day after day, unless you can fish day after day after day after day. Now, if I can only fish weekends, I am not going to pick a lake. But if you give me a month, you say, Tim, I'm going to just miracle you into fishing Lake Kerr for a month every day, or the James River for every day, or whatever. I'm going to be like, yeah, I'll be on big fish. Because I'm going to know, when they disappear, I'm going to try pattern A, pattern B, pattern C, because I was on them on ledges. Maybe I'm on them in the upper stretch, and then they move down to 30 to 40 foot of water up on some ledges. Maybe they move shallow, and I'm going to keep my baits that I throw, I'm going to keep them varied so that I can listen to the fish. If I just do what I want to do, I could be completely off of them, because maybe they didn't do what I want them to, or what I think they're normally doing. But if I can't throw anything into 3 and 12 and 15 and 30 and 50, maybe on the same anchor, I may not know what happened if I lose track of them for a day or so, or 2 days. But if I can stay on top of them day after day after day by staying, I'm on them, I'm catching them. As soon as that wanes, as soon as that bite goes a little bit south, I'm moving a little bit. And sometimes there's nothing you can do, because as we all know, the whole population gets shut off for 2-3 days. But I'm still going to stay on top of my game by saying, okay, this is the most likely, this is the second most likely, and it's the third most. And sometimes it's 5, 6 down the road. I got to like use patterns,
Yeah.
all of them. And then I got to run amok, and I got to start ripping anchor. I got to start moving. And so I may have to anchor 30, 40, 50 times a day to get back on them, but I'm going to get back on them, because I do not fail. That's
we
the
had
mindset
some.
you got to have.
Yeah, that is truth right there. You've got to go out there. unless, and if you're going out just to go out to be out there, throw some poles in the water and have a chance, God bless you. There's times when I do that, and there is nothing wrong with that. That's awesome. You're out in there, boom, boom, boom. But Sunfish Assassin with the 222 said, when Tim talks, we listen. Mark Anthony saying he hopes to get a chance to meet everybody down there.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
I'll be at the swap shop. Stop by right next to the YouTubers area.
Oh, Mr. Murillo, I hate to interrupt this, but I have some vintage ProCat stuff from way back in the day, and I got to show you one.
Oh no, I'm gonna go broke.
Oh, jeez.
I'm already broke. I might as well be happy, Big Skin.
I had in the package the claw.
Woo!
Look at that. This is
Catfish collar.
Never been opened. This is and I actually designed this package years ago. That's literally my hand right there. I wrote some art. That's my hand in that gigantic flathead's mouth right there, right here. Yeah, I actually did this stuff, and this is probably older than 25 years ago. And this and let me show you this here. This is actually the actual clonk that I did research on 25 years ago. It's got the thing, it's got the handle, it's all crazy. And I have I think I have 4 to 5 in the package, and then I have like 4 to 5 that don't have a package. Then I have some old wooden versions, and one is from like the Netherlands 25 years ago. I also have one that I'm keeping because it's like the most awesome thing in the world. It's like all hand carved, and it's got like a big giant clonk, and oh my god.
Yeah.
But
the question is, have you used them on flatheads?
You got one of these in your boat?
What's the question?
Have you used these on fishing flatheads?
Of course I have, but I cannot see, and I can explain this. It's going to take a little bit, but there's no way to tell on American soil whether a clonk works or whether it doesn't based on flatheads on a normal fishing situation. Now that live scope is here, I would be able to quantify that within probably a fishing trip or two, because everybody knows that fishes flatheads. If you're on a good flathead situation, you may throw out baits and you're going to get a bite in 5 minutes. So what if I go to a great flathead spot, use this old Netherlands clonk like right here, and then clonk a couple times and throw it out, and I get a bite in 5 minutes? Was it the clonk or wasn't it the clonk? You never know. The only way to know is if you fish it for like 30, 40, 50 minutes and you get nothing. And all of a sudden you clonk, and then all of a sudden you get like 4 fish. Now that is not a quantifiable situation to me. But if I was able to see flatheads like this, kind of hanging around on the bottom, they didn't do anything with my live baits, they didn't do anything with my cut baits, and all of a sudden I clonked, and then they got up off the bottom and started doing this, and donkey powered a couple baits down, then I would be able to know. So in the last article that I wrote about this, I said, this clonk looks something like you might find in an alien ship that landed on planet Earth. It's like a kind of a combination between a ladle and a
probe,
universal crankshaft. But it has to do with whether you believe in it or whether you don't. Now, I do know that clonks work on whale scales because I've seen it with my, in video as much as you could believe, and I actually talked to some people that had used it on whale scales. Is that like the sound effect of a clonk? But seriously, there is a certain frequency that it does, and I have talked to people years ago that would literally be able to make that sound, and they do swear by it, but I couldn't prove it one way or the other. Is that my phone doing that?
Sounds like
I don't think so. There we go. So
It was me.
but as a collector's item or something of interest, this right here, I'm gonna have some of them for sale.
I was playing with the other guys when you turned around. I was like, "What is it?" I knew what it was.
Yeah, but
I know what it
dude,
is.
this old Swedish style clonk deal right here. This is like kind of like cool. I only have one of those, and then I'm gonna get this out.
Hey guys, 22 minutes remain in the day, right, Stan?
Woo! 22-minute countdown. I was hoping we were going to see some.
Geez. You know what that is?
That is the official.
That's the next sticker that's going to be added to my sticker collection.
That is an entire roll of the old school Pro Cats Association stickers that people used to get with their memberships. And I actually found them. Well, I found them years ago, but they were actually underneath the seat of my truck. And then I put them in another box, and they ended up in the attic. And my wife actually drug them down, and I don't know how many's there, but there's a boatload of them, and they're like this one's so old. Like see this one? It's all orange. Well, it's actually supposed to be red like that. And they're kind of worse for wear, but they are still new.
That's what makes them even more epic.
Stuff. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh yeah. So as soon as you peel that back, it's all like original red with the with the Pro Cats catfish on them and all that. So yeah, this is pretty exciting.
Cool stuff. Yeah, definitely. And Agent Murillo, you see Bex there is coming up with an idea here. We're going to start booking some European clonking trips with Tim.
Yeah, and look at this. This is a newer age. I've got like 2 of these. It has the cup clonk to it. This is one of the ones that they were doing in Europe about 1989 probably. Yeah, which 1989 doesn't sound like that long ago to me, but yeah, it's kind of a long time ago. So yeah, I'm bringing all that to Catfish whatever, and that's going to be kind of cool.
CatCon 2022 coming to Louisville, Kentucky. Y'all can check that out on catcon.com. If you haven't got your tickets yet, $7 for 2 days to hear some awesome words coming from Epic. You're just getting a little preview of it tonight here.
And then I got first come, first served Epic Catfish donkey lights. and I was only able to make about 20 of them because I've been so busy. But I did figure out.
You didn't get your slave labor working on that, weren't you? Didn't you say you were going to make your kid do it or something?
No, I wasn't. I gave him the option, and he said he would, but he's like busy with school because he's like captain school, and so I had to finish them all, and I don't have very much time. So, this is the blue light one, and I did figure out a way of because the ones I made for myself, I wasn't smart enough. I had like too small, like see this part right here. This part right here, it houses the mechanism, the batteries and all that. So on the ones on my rod, you have to cut that off to change the batteries. Well, with these, you don't. because I bought a bigger size, and you can just peel this out.
Ah.
Like this. You just peel this out. And I say that, but this is the 84-inch version. So you can peel that out and then change the batteries. Well, on the ones that I have on my rods, I have to cut it off and put a new one on.
What batteries do they take, Tim?
Just little watch batteries.
CR 2032?
I don't know. I don't look at
If
it.
there was only a battery guy here.
Yeah. So you can just kind of turn this back in there, and evidently I didn't do this and that great, but some of them are pretty easy. This one isn't necessarily, but this one is going to Avid, so I'm sure he doesn't care. He said, hey, I got to have one that's like really long. So I made like the 84 inches right there. It's the longest one that I made. Now that I've got other ones that fit on a 7'6" rod really well.
How much do they cost?
Yeah. So we're gonna bring those to CatCon. It's gonna be pretty cool.
Well, and Epic wanted those longer ones because we all know Avid uses 20-foot long fishing poles to cast 500 yards from the bank.
Yep,
So.
He's not going to be there.
Right. He's got to have the long donkey lights.
And there was a question.
Put two together.
There was a question. How much are they?
The ones that I bring to CatCon are going to be about $20, but I am working on it for in the future to get them like kind of mass manufactured. And I think that if you get a mass manufactured, they might even be like $12 or $13. And I do know one thing: the batteries that are in them, when they're waterproof, they're going to last a year or two without even changing the battery. I don't know if that's a good deal or not, but I know how much this stuff costs. I know how much it takes to produce it. But if they can be mass manufactured, I think the biggest thing is it's going to change the way people fish, because one of the worst things about being on the bank is having lights on and having bugs all over. If you can just turn your rods on and they'll last all season, that's way better than a flashlight. It's way better than a bank of lights shining on anything. And you can eliminate the imaginary bite. I used to have the imaginary bite all the time. Did I just get a bite?
Did you see it? Yeah.
I see it.
I try to imagine the imaginary bite all the time.
Right.
I think that's what it is. It's our mind saying it's a bite. You saw it. It moved.
Please move just a little bit. Please just. Was that?
Yes.
No.
Oh my goodness! And then
awesome.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. I think that'll do extremely well. As a matter of fact, you could probably consider them sold out by Friday morning at, let's see, when does CatCon open?
I don't even know.
8, something like within the first 15.
Friday.
We leave all the timing up to Sean. He's the one who keeps us on track.
Yeah.
That's right.
We'll probably go down and eat breakfast at the hotel, right, Tim? And then Sean will be like, "We gotta go. We gotta go."
Yeah, exactly. Whatever
We
you
got
guys
15
want to
minutes.
do. I think I'm speaking early and late. Yep. I don't know who to talk to about those timings, but I do know one thing about shows. If you're the first one and the last one, that's usually the lowest crowd.
Maybe they're hoping that you're going to balance out the crowd. Then
there you go.
That is exactly, Michael. That is the exact thing that I said to him. I'm like, well, Tim, what they're trying to do then is use you, the main draw, to get everybody there early.
All right. Well, get ready, because I'm not holding anything back on this one. I'm not answering. I'm not answering.
You gonna hook Sean this time?
Stuff. I am going to do what I do, and we're going to talk about donkey baits and donkey weights and my way of thinking the whole time. I think. I mean, I'll answer some questions, but I don't think I'm going to go down. You know, everybody else can do the dragging and drifting and this and that and the other, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's great, but I'm gonna go with the inner caveman, and I think I'm gonna bring some actual donkey baits and show those, like stuff out of the cooler type stuff. I don't know.
That's going to be awesome. And I don't know. I just can't imagine that any one of us would be there ready to watch and listen and be. I think we're going to have to be getting extra chairs for the conference room for this epic seminar.
Well, I hope
based
so,
on
because
They can
one of the
stand.
greatest things last time was being able to look into the crowd and see people I knew, because it had been 20 years since I've been, in front of a big crowd or any crowd at all. And like back in the day, I would do like these giant fishing club seminars, and there'd be like 400 or 500 people in the crowd. And one of the common things was that I saw Chris and Telly, I saw Sean, I saw people that I identified with. So I'd start kind of running amok like I do in my own head, and all I had to do was focus on them, and I would come right back to my own reality, which is good.
When are you speaking, Tim?
What's that, Skip?
When are you speaking?
I'm not sure. It's whenever Steve tells me. I think it's sometime
On
in
the
the morning.
on the schedule. I think it said 9 a.m. But
Okay.
What
9
day?
a.m. So then I'm
Friday.
9 a.m. on
Friday.
And then what's the other one, Stan?
Well, then I think it was supposed to be later on Friday afternoon and also Saturday, I believe.
Good.
Oh,
Okay.
so I'm speaking 3 times. I didn't know that.
I believe so.
I guess
I'd have to go back. Kevin had they had it all listed out, and the main thing I knew was 9 a.m. A Friday. That was the first one that I saw, and I'm like, all right, well, I know I'm going to be there. Got to make sure I'm there for that one. 3:45. Lynn is saying, thank you very much. Lynn's saying it's actually 10 a.m. the first day,
Okay.
and 3:45 the second day.
Okay. All right.
There we go. So it's two of them.
I had a speech class. Well, I actually had 2 seasons of speech class, and I talked my speech professors into letting me talk about catfish, which was kind of unheard of back in those days, because usually they wanted you to talk about whatever subject that they had in mind. But I was able to, with my enthusiasm, talk them into let me talk about catfishing, whether it was science or whether it was studies or whether it was just catfish in general. And that was kind of a good thing for me, because I didn't even have to prepare anything. I could just go talk. I mean, so I could talk for 30, 40 minutes, and as long as I had like a sort of an outline in my mind, and I could jot down an outline, right before class or whatever, and hand it to them. And if you've ever talked to a crowd of they're not even fishermen. If you can excite a college crowd about catfishing, you got something. So, I would talk about certain things, I would whatever. So I learned to read the crowd a little bit. So if everybody, if anybody was talking to each other, I would know I was going down the wrong road. And that's a tough crowd of, 19 and 20-year-old women and dudes who don't even care about fishing at all. They've never even really heard about anything like that. So you had to really wow them. So I couldn't go to that extreme. I still have to stay within the catfish reality realm. But generally speaking, yeah, it's a crowd's pretty easy read when
Tim, that's evident right here. I can tell you that. We can just scroll back in chat, and we're getting about 1 comment every minute or 3 or 4 minutes right now out in chat.
Good,
Before you came up, it was about, I couldn't keep up with it. There was about 10 comments every 30 seconds coming up there. So.
Chat was rolling when I jumped in.
Well,
So yes,
it's obvious. It's obvious that people are paying attention to the good looks of Big Skip, Michael Murillo, and Stan, coupled with my baffled with my mouth running.
Well, we hooked him from the get-go because the first 20 minutes, all Stan and I talked about was professional wrestling history of the 80s, 90s, 2000s,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
today. So,
Oh,
And they stayed.
yeah.
They stayed.
Oh yeah.
we
That's
started
right.
talking about fishing, and our crowd doubled.
Nice. All right, I'm
They
going
have
to take
three-
a little bit of a break and listen to you guys because I'm going to make myself another coffee. It's about, it's probably 11 o'clock, and I've got about another hour of work before I can go to bed. But I am going to make a coffee. I'll listen to you and Bit because you know what? I'm interested in what you guys got to say, but I have so much stuff to say. I just keep talking, so I'm just going to stop.
Hey, Tim, I'm not going to be there till Saturday. If you get a chance, put a couple stickers up for me.
You know what, Skip? If you're there Saturday, I'm going to put as and I'll tell you, I'm a big fan of Big Skip because he was the first guy on TikTok to come out and say some stuff. So I'm gonna put one of those. I'm gonna put one of those in my
Appreciate
binder,
it.
and I'm two of them. I'm gonna save some for you, buddy. I appreciate you. I love it. I love the stuff that you do, and trust me, Big Skip catches some big fish too. You got to watch his stuff.
Well,
All right.
Big Skip is going to be in the 1v1 tournament on Catfish and Crappie's channel coming up here in March.
Sweet.
Big Skip is
Yeah.
in round 1 taking on Lee Evans. I'm going against J Dog. We've got I'm trying to remember. So
Tell me
most
about it.
here. We've got Tara versus the Danny Stone Outdoors. We've got the one that I want to see. We got the wonderful, the awesome Nina versus Freddie. We
That's
have
gonna
House divided.
oh, that's gonna be something. Michelle is saying Epic is the EF Hutton of catfishing. When EF Hutton talks, when Epic talks,
He's going
catfishermen
to get
listen.
a coffee stand, so that tells me that you might be going past the next 5 minutes.
I know. That
Are
was
you prepared? Are you prepared? Do you need to go get a drink? Are you ready?
I'm doing good. I'm gonna get a Mountain Dew. I'm gonna get another Mountain Dew in a minute here. I've only had
He's
one,
refueling.
two. I've only had 3 of them. So
Me personally, here's what I have to say about what Epic laid down right there. I have never thought so much about trying to be better at fishing than I have in the last few years. I had never realized that so much of what we had done was the luck of being out there in the right spot at the right time at what that moment happened to be a good enough bait for the fish to want to get it. But now, you take into account all this teaching, all this detail, and I'm basically trying to change my game. And I'm trying to think through it as I feel I should, just for myself, and then use any and all skills that I can lay on the table, maps, everything, stuff like that, and then the chance to run all that data by people who know those details so much better is just invaluable. But what he said right there as he transitioned, because most of my fishing is lakes, what he said is it really validated all of the thinking and all the direction that I had been putting myself and pointing myself towards over the last year. And especially, I don't fish during the winter because everything's frozen here in Iowa, but it gives me time to reflect, and it gives me time to think and try to strategize and plan. And everything that he said really helps to encourage me that I'm probably thinking in the right direction, and that feels great because, like he said, I'm on lakes. Some of them aren't very big. Some of them are bigger, and the most recent bit of water that I found is a 1 acre pond 3 minutes from my house. And I'm super excited about that because it's totally different. And, you know, even what I learn on bigger water, I'm sure it's going to apply on the smaller water to some degree. And so it's really nice too. And you guys saw it right there. It's not like, okay, if you haven't caught a 100-pound fish, we're not going to talk about it because you're not elite. This is the coolest dude I've ever shared a meal with. Because like I said earlier, he laid it all down on that table in Kansas City, and then after that, I'm sure he said, "Michael, help me eat these fries." But in my head, I heard, "Mikey, help me eat these fries." And being a person with that name, there's a handful of people in my life who've called me Michael. And by that, I mean one handful. And then everybody usually called me Mike. And then there's a handful that, even though I'm, middle-aged now, they still call me Mikey. So it's pretty awesome how your mind works and how everything thinks. And just like Diane said, we got the countdown going here. Now, here's what I was going to say to Stan earlier today, but I didn't do it because good Lord knows he can't be live all day long. But, it's still 2:22 on part of the globe. And
There we go.
last night I was like, man, you could have gone live like 12 hours ago, man. It's 2:22 on the other side of the globe.
Well,
and then I was thinking to myself, what about 2:22 a.m.? And what about 2:22 p.m.? But, we can, Stan may be respected globally, but he can't be playing all the time.
Well, you do know that I have 40 hours of straight live fishing, so I could have done it. But with CatCon coming up and that focus going on CatCon, that was the big reason that I did the 2 hours and 22 minutes at midnight last night, the 2 hours and 22 minutes this afternoon at 2:22, and then there it is. It's midnight. Boom, 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 boom. Here on the East Coast, Tuesday,
and we
2:22 is done.
2 seconds, and now you have been live for 2 hours and 22 minutes even.
Boom, boom, boom.
You did it.
We timed it. Thank you all, everybody out there. And there's boom, boom, boom. Don R. Thank you very much, my friend, with the $5. $5 says, from my vet friend, keep the good work up. Well, thank you. I love doing this. Like, the only thing I like almost as much as going out there fishing is talking about fishing. And when you've got awesome people like this up on panel with you and awesome people like y'all out in the chat, it's very easy to do. It's not a difficult skill to learn when you've got these amazing people around. So thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Well, gents, I am going to exit at the 2 hour, 22 minute mark.
Michael, you cannot exit yet because I heard what you said. And from the bottom of my heart, I am so happy to be able to share information with people that are appreciative of it. Not only that, do not sell yourself short, none of you, because it's all in your experience and what you've got and how much time you've got. Everybody's experience is different and everyone is valuable. Every single one. Whether you're in small lakes, big lakes, ponds, it doesn't really matter. Little bitty rivers, and maybe the biggest, the access to the biggest catfish you got is 10 pounds. It's all equally worth it because it's still a beautiful experience. And I'm going to tell you right now, I love every single bit of it. I love talking to everybody, whatever experience they got. And you know what? Just because I'm like Captain Ahab freaking monster hunter, I don't think myself better than anybody else. I feel myself lucky that I've been able to spend as much time as I have. And I'm so appreciative that, you know, there's people that like the thing that I like. I'm still pushing myself for this whole catfish community thing. You know, Stan and you and Big Skip and, you know, all the guys that are involved in chat. And I'm not just saying that. I honestly, I sometimes go to bed at night and feel so lucky that what I do is somebody actually wants to listen to it. Because, you know, my kids have heard so many stories that they're practically rolling their eyes. They're like, yeah, I've heard that before, like 100,000 times, you know, and and the desire to, like you said, to look at things differently and move into the realm that you want to go. It's not that, you know, I could describe it as the right way, or you got to do it this way, or whatever, the old anachronism, you know, whatever. But it's not that way. What it is I enjoy helping people to go where they want to go, and I try not to lead anybody down the wrong road, you know, because if I were to say something like you were talking, you know, well, Epic Catfish could come and say, well, if you don't catch 100-pounders, you're not even a catfish. No, that's all complete crap. You know, I don't care if it's, you know, if somebody's trying to catch 10-pounders in a pond, just knowing a little bit of information sometimes will help people get to where they want to go. And dude, I'm so happy to do it. And look at Stan. Look how far Stan has went in just the last year, from, you know, being a master angler in up in upstate New York to going all the way, you know, middle of the country down there and catching some fish, to now he's getting to where he's like, oh yeah, oh boy, look at the current, look at the thing, we got to deal with the drops, and, you know, and I take personal satisfaction in everybody that I get to watch, and I get to watch them. It's not that it's a luxury for me. It is a super luxury because, you know, a long time ago, yeah, you could call people and talk to them, but it was such a limited population of people that, you know, and I oftentimes talk about my catfish savage friends that are kind of like me, that you'll never see on YouTube and whatever. And I would say this to the whole crowd, everybody that's in chat right now, everybody that could possibly watch this thing in the future, YouTube is not the it's an amalgamation of great people that have come together and share experiences. It's not necessarily the greatest catfisherman in the world, because I'm going to tell you, there's some guys out there that flat out catch some big fish. And there was a certain person that came on and did a live and was like cutting everybody down and all this stuff. Don't pay attention to people like that. People like that got some sort of axe to grind. I have no idea what they're trying to do or what this particular guy is trying to say. It doesn't really matter. The thing about catfishing is it's a beautiful experience from the day you start till the day you die. That's it. That's it. You know, if you want to catch monsters, you can listen, you can learn, or you can go out and do it yourself. And there's plenty of guys that do it. There's plenty of guys that don't have any experience, and they go out there and maybe they do catch a monster, just like that guy said. But the thing about it is, as long as you can replicate maybe that monster experience, maybe you can, in your mind, go and visit areas that look monstery and you love it. That's great. I mean, I've explained this in live chats before. One of the reasons I am the way I am is because I romanticized catching monsters in my mind since like 4 or 5 years old. I used to walk around the corner at my grandma's house, and at the end of the hallway, there's this like ceramic monster, which now is at the end of my hallway. And that I was 4 or 5. I used to peek around the corner, and the thing like scared me because it was like this crazy creature. You know, it's this ceramic, you know, creature that lived at the bottom of the lagoon and ready to eat ducks or, you know, whatever. And that's what I loved about it. And that's what kind of ended up driving me. And just the experiences in my life took me to where I am now. But just because I'm there doesn't mean I got to look down on anybody. I look up to people that are new at it. I really do. I love the experiences of somebody that just started, because the world, it's so wide open. It is so wide open. It's whatever you want to make it. It's a beautiful thing. And you know what? Whether you catch fish or not, being out there catching small fish, or, you know, one after the other, or maybe not even catching anything at all, just being out there, seeing the sunset, being out in nature, the wind comes into you. It's all great. It's all great. Whether you got your first boat, whether you've never had a boat, whether you're never going to have a boat, it doesn't matter.
And I think right there, that's the definition of a catfisherman. Fisherman in general is the passion. You're going out because you want to do it. It's more than want to do it. You need to do it. It's like, man, I haven't been fishing. I've got to get out there. I just need to be out there. And you know, we were talking earlier, Epic, you know, sometimes it's just, hey, I'm just going to go out, throw out some bobbers and have fun today. And then the next day it's like, all right, I got that out of the way. I had some fun. Now I'm back on the hunt. I need to get this big fish. And it's, you know, that's what connects all of us, regardless of all the other differences. It's that passion that connects us.
Stan, literally, I would mow my yard with my mouth to be like 12 years old again.
Yeah.
and be new at it. Because, you know, yeah, I'm an old salty vet or whatever, you know, but it's those things that, and I regret not smelling the flowers like I should have years ago. Now, do I have like serious regrets? No, but I still wish that I would have been able to experience some things that at 52 I value more than when I was 22. So don't forget that, everybody. Value your time you have and really appreciate it if you can. And put that in your mind as to, you know, because I've probably forgotten more than I remember, and I wish I would remember more than I've forgotten. So just remember that.
And I'm, you know, I can totally relate to what you're saying, Tim. And I'm now at that point where, you know, that big sturgeon, I was super stoked with that, and I was happy to be able to, that stand 3 and Dan, we all were part of that. It wasn't, you know, it was all of our fish. And you know, you'll see me so many times on the boat, and I'm like, go ahead, get it. It's yours, man. And I get so much satisfaction of seeing and being part of watching other people catch the big fish that, you know, that's, to me, that's, I love that. You know, you see in our latest videos where we've been taking out, we got the new grandsons that are about to be 4 here in March, and we're taking them out, you know, trout
that's what
fishing.
it's all about, brother.
And,
you know, and anybody that's catfished and caught big fish, if they don't enjoy somebody else, their eyes light up and their heart pumps, they get all excited. I mean, that was, if that's not if that's not a worthy motivation, you need to, you know, reevaluate your life, because if that's not, then something's going on. Because I don't care if I catch another big catfish for the rest of my life. If I could take people out and see their eyes light up and that whole thing shine and all that, I'd be happy.
I can give the perfect example of that is Freddie and Nina came here. Freddie and Nina came up from South Carolina up here to fish the James, and Nina caught her PB before this was about 6 to 8 pounds. She hooks into a 46-pounder, and that is her new PB. I mean, but I don't know who was more excited. I don't know if it was her or Freddie or Stan 3, who's like jumping to go out in the water to get this thing for her, or myself.
Awesome.
I mean, it was just like the Super Bowl had been won. It was just everybody was jumping and smiling and woo! I think they heard us in downtown Richmond. We were making so much noise with but it was just like I said, it was better than I would have rather been there for that particular moment than to actually be out win a Super Bowl. I mean, that was the excitement. That's the passion that I talk about. And big shout out to her. Like Nina and Freddie, they showed up Thursday night after driving all day. You know what they wanted to do? And it was their anniversary weekend. They wanted to go catfishing, and that's what they came here for. And so we went out at 10 o'clock at night, I think, out in the dark, out in the cold. We're walking down the trails and the pass to get out to this other spot. And it was the same thing you said before, that adventure, that it's all part of that whole thing. And we did the bank all night. Then we went to another bank the next morning. And then we weren't locating them very well. So we said, okay, we know what we can do. We got to move up. We got to go to this other spot. And bam. But we were just nonstop. And big shout out to Nina. She was through the mud, through the rocks, through the wet, through the.
All right,
I mean,
all right, Stan. So I'm going to put it to you right now. You, of course, I know you very well. I hope that in your next videos, you don't have to do a captain's log, but you could do something like that. You could say, hey, this is the story. You know, like you might say, this is the sturgeon story of the day. And this is what we were feeling. This is what we were doing. And this is what happened. And I do wish that, you know, a lot of the videos that I saw or I watch on YouTube, I wish somebody would tell me what they're feeling, because I think that's more important than almost anything. Because, you know, yes, you could go and slop a fish, big fish in the boat. And, you know, a lot of videos you see, especially from the more watched, it's basically blah, 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 catch a big fish, blah, blah, blah. And I just don't get the great feeling from it, because I don't know where they're at. They're somewhere on the planet. They don't even tell you. Maybe they're on the Trinity River. Maybe it took them 15 hours to get there, but at least they could say something in their intro or whatever. Say, you know what? I've always wanted to fish the Trinity River and catch these dinosaurs, you know, these big, you know, whatever, 6 foot, 7 foot long alligator gar. And we went down there and we did, and it doesn't matter what your voice is, you know, or what your whatever. Mm-hmm. I want to hear what they were thinking before it. I want to hear that they really like it, not just we appeared and we caught a giant fish that we filmed on our $4,000 camera and then we let it go, blah, blah, blah. But maybe I'm weird, you know, maybe I want to hear from the person. Like if Michael Murillo catches a 99-pound flathead tomorrow on a lake, I hope that when he films it, he says, I've been wanting to catch a monster like this my whole life. And today it happened. Bang. That's all I need. That's all I need. And I'm glued. As soon as somebody says, hey, this is what I've been wanting to do my whole life, and I actually attained it, I'm in it. I might watch it 5 times. But I'm not going to watch some, you know, aerial photograph of somebody, you know, catching something in a kayak and it muddied the water and whatever. And it just seems non-appreciative to me. I'm sorry, but maybe I'm spoiled. But
no, I hear what you're saying. Yeah, definitely. And I think
I don't want to be overly critical because I'm thankful for all of it. But I really do want to see. I want to hear. I want to feel it. And I don't care if they put music to it. I'm a fan of music because, you know, I'm old. I'm an old soul. And a lot of times my sound isn't that great because it's like wind noise and whatever. So I'm going to put a little bit of music to it. But I try to pick music that is going to, you know, couple with what I was feeling. And usually, okay, it might seem repetitive on Epic Catfish, but it's pretty monumental because the build up to it is so huge, because Sean and I start talking about it 3 days, 4 days before it. And I can't bore everybody with that. But, you know, we start talking about it and I start thinking. And so it becomes so important that, you know, the circumstances is so huge. And maybe it sucks for 2 days. And we usually say that. Oh, we beat the bushes for 2 days and we finally did it on the last anchor and the last whatever. And there's like Viking music going off and there's lightning in the beginning and whatever. But I would rather see that to myself than just ho hum. Here's the fish we caught. And I'm like, dang.
I
But
think
maybe I'm weird.
Epic
I mean,
Epic is on something right there with you know, because I'm lucky enough I get Stan 3 to fish with. I've got Dan. We've had Citation Smitty coming in with us, and even lately we've been talking with Catfish Chris, and it's that, like he said, having the people to talk to and say, okay, like what we've been doing on the Water Wednesdays with Dan, and we start talking about that, like, okay, where are we going next Wednesday? Let's come up with some initial plans. Man, I can't wait for, you know, we did this last week, and this is where, you know, the weather conditions are supposed to be. We're going to start looking here. And then as it gets closer and closer, we start changing things a little bit and pinpointing things down. And so if you have the ability to have somebody like, you know, Epic's got Sean that he talks to, you know, find yourself some fishing psychos in your area
yes.
that you can share those same things with. And
and trust me, Stan, I've had to train myself away from the biological standpoint because I'm a giant science nut. I'm a huge catfish nerd. But who is going to watch the first 15 seconds when I say the predilection of the Brachyplatystoma philomosum is going to be, you know, running along the what? No, they're not. I have to put it in regular terms, and I've had to train myself to think this way. I have to say, okay, here it is. We've been waiting to go to the river for 3 months. And sometimes we do. I don't like to try to tell false stories. It is what it is. If it's been flooded for 2 months and we finally get to catch some donkey baits and we finally get to go to the river and we finally pound the water and it's been horrible for 2 days and all of a sudden we have one anchor and the catfish bites the boat on the last thing at the last thing, you're like, yes, and that's why Sean and I are so celebratory a lot of times because it's not easy. None of this stuff is easy. A lot of people, oh, Epic Catfish catching another giant. So what? But it's not that easy. Sometimes we have to push. We have to we have to persevere. We have to, you know, change locations. Holy moly, we drove 1,000 miles in one weekend to catch an 80-pounder, 1,000 miles. Not to go across the country. It was only 300 miles away, but we drove 330 miles to have it pound down rain and the water wasn't right. We ended up going another 330 miles this way. And it really wasn't that great of a bite. And then all of a sudden it cleared up another 330 miles. So we drove 1,000 miles to catch that one 80-pounder. And that friend of mine, Aaron, I had to cut things out because he about cried. And he's like, dude, I teach weightlifting at a high school football. You cannot show me crying on the boat. Because my kids will, you know, chew me up. And I'm like, okay, you know, I won't make you look bad, but he's a giant human being. He's like 6'3". He's like a regular human, only giant. He grabs me on the shoulders. I'm like a little toy, you know, and he was just losing his mind. And that was awesome. I'll never forget it. And I love the fact that it's a video. And yes, to answer whoever's question was up there, did I hook the catfish or did the catfish hook? They hooked me. I am 100%, 100,000,000% hooked by giant catfish. And I have been since I was like 5 years old. The first time I ever saw the giant flathead in the trunk of a car that was bigger than me. And it was the meanest, ugliest thing, but the most beautiful thing I ever saw. And I've been hooked ever since. There's no doubt.
All right, I'm going fishing. I'll see y'all later.
That's right. That's right. Oh,
That is every time I talk to Epic. That is like I'm like, okay, I got to go fishing now. It's like you just get that. Oh, I got to go do this.
Are you fishing tomorrow on Wednesday?
No, because I'm coming to. Well, I shouldn't say that. You never know.
Yeah.
Dan will be out there on the water Wednesday, but we're leaving for CatCon early Thursday morning.
Mhm.
So the answer is maybe. If I can get everything done ahead of time and be able to go do it, then yes. But if not, this week and only this week, CatCon takes priority.
Yep.
Getting ready and getting down there and all that stuff. But only this week. We'll be back Sunday, and then I can resume my normal Catfish Savage Psycho that Epic talks about.
Yeah, we got to get
I joke,
we got to
I
get
joke
T-shirts
all
made
my
with that.
friends that Stan is actually not a human. He is a cybernetic piece of machinery that loves to catfish. So
Yeah.
I mean, when he did all that like 3 days straight fishing and all that stuff, I said no, he's a biological entity over some sort of robotic thing and whatever. But anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. Michael Murillo, Big Skip, and Stan, I love all three of you. Thanks for having me on. Thanks for listening to my like weird outlook on catfish and my catfish sauvage. Everybody in chat, love it. I can't wait to see you at CatCon, and I got to get off here and start working on my props.
Yeah. So we can't wait for that Epic. It's gonna be great. See, I think we're jumping out too. Michael had to go. You're gonna get going.
No, I gotta listen to you guys as I'm working on my catfish eyeballs. Come on.
I was done 22 minutes ago.
That's right.
Oh,
That's right.
geez,
Exactly
I'm sorry,
22
man.
minutes ago.
My right eye is starting to water, so that usually means Mike's going to fall asleep pretty soon.
All right, everybody.
There will
See
be.
ya.
I'm pretty sure Lynn is probably live or going live. There is those overnight.
All right.
There's some
Yeah.
overnight catfish shows going on that you can find.
I got to turn Lynn on and listen to it because I can't have silence. I got to hear somebody saying catfish all the time.
Michael Murillo, thank you very much. Had a great time. First night that we have been live together up here on Two Stands Fishing. So thank you, S4. Tim, as always. The one thing that's funny when Tim calls me, I hear the phone ring at 2:00. My wife goes, "It's Epic again."
So Stan, when you meet Michael Murillo at the CatCon, trust me, he's one of the greatest guys yet. It's not a facade. In real life, he's just as good as he is on camera.
I already know that. I can tell. I can't wait. There's so many people. It's just going to be. I'm just. I'm so excited for it.
He's funnier off camera than he is on camera. He's actually pretty darn hilarious. I was laughing. Sean was laughing. We were on the way home that night, and we're like, "Oh my God, Michael Murillo's awesome." Well, anyway, Big Skip, I will see you on TikTok.
I'll see you.
Love you, man.
You too,
Big
brother.
Skip, thanks for coming up. Michael Murillo, everybody out there. 2/22/22 Tuesday was a great success. Thank you for everybody making it just a awesome day for me. I can't thank everybody enough out there for being part of Two Stands Fishing. It it really does. I've worked really hard to have the two mean something. See me pop these up all the time, but it's much love for everybody out there. So thank you for what the Catfish family has done for me. Truly, I can't I can't put words to it. I can't explain it. But y'all make me smile every single day of the week now. So thank you for everybody. See there's all the twos. Boom, 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 boom. Thank you, everybody. And we'll see you probably tomorrow. Who knows? I'm always somewhere.
I might see you in 2 days.
Yes. All right, everybody. We are out of here.
Good night, everybody.